If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
Chapter 101, Recruiting a Blacksmith. Third Mizukage raised the Skeleton Emperor high. A large amount of chakra was poured into the Skeleton Emperor by the third Mizukage. A burst of astonishing energy erupted. The next moment, third Mizukage looked ahead. Not far beneath the sea's surface, a fish the size of a small boat swam leisurely, completely unaware of the impending danger. At that moment, third Mizukage's attack struck. Skeleton Emperor slashed down forcefully. Crack! Extreme sharpness coupled with third Mizukage's immense strength, the slash met almost no resistance, smoothly slicing the large fish in two. Only then did the fish realize what had happened. But it was already too late. The third Mizukage's eyes lit up. Very good. Even without the power of decay, this performance alone is not inferior to blunt sword. With this slash, there are very few in the entire ninja world who could block it. But this wasn't the end. Under the influence of Skeleton Emperor's power and the power of decay, the fish's wound began to rot at a visible rate. Even the bones started to crumble. As expected, the more chakra I use, the stronger the aging effect becomes. This time, it only affected the area around the wound. If in the future I master Skeleton Emperor better, could a single slash cause my opponent to rot into mush? Third Mizukage looked at Skeleton Emperor with burning eyes. They say I am the weakest Mizukage in history, but now, with Skeleton Emperor in my hand, once I get close, who can say for sure that the first and second Mizukage would definitely win against me? And as for the third Hokage? Third Mizukage left, satisfied, with Skeleton Emperor. Not long after, several ANBU ninja appeared. They exchanged glances, each seeing the shock in the other's eyes. Without saying anything, they quickly cleaned up the scene. Soma watched the number in the reputation column on the translucent screen in front of him jump abruptly. It went straight from over 400 to over 600. If there are no surprises, this should be due to Skeleton Emperor. Did third Mizukage demonstrate the power of Skeleton Emperor in front of others? Most likely, it was ANBU ninja. It hasn't been long, but it seems third Mizukage is quite concerned with Skeleton Emperor. He probably has some obsession with personal strength, considering he cares about reputation. And strength can establish fame. In the original storyline, third Mizukage didn't even leave a name. He could be considered the most inconspicuous Mizukage, but this world is different now. Soma looked away. My reputation has already reached over 600. Next, as long as I gain some reputation from recruiting apprentice blacksmiths, reaching 1000 reputation points shouldn't be difficult. Then I can do another 10 consecutive draws. Soma proposed recruiting apprentice blacksmiths not only to lighten Arafuni's workload but also to gain reputation. Soon, the ANBU ninja delivered the information. The details were clear. They included the blacksmith's previous SK*LL level, age, family situation, personality, and current activities. Soma listed several criteria. First, those with excellent forging technique are prioritized. Second, those with stable family backgrounds are prioritized. Third, those with good personalities are prioritized. Fourth, those who have a strong desire for income are prioritized. Soma knew exactly what kind of blacksmith he wanted. He didn't need the most excellent forging technique, because no matter how excellent, none would surpass Soma's. He didn't need someone with a strong passion for forging techniques because Soma was hiring people to work not for a hobby. Given the situation in the Hidden Mist Village and the previous events on Forging Island, it's possible that some of these blacksmiths might have accumulated grievances to the point of considering defection. Hidden Mist Village has never been short of rogue ninjas. Those with stable families are much less likely to defect. If the family income is insufficient and there is a strong desire for money, then the person will work even harder. They won't resist working overtime. Soma wants precisely this kind of worker. This isn't because Soma is harsh. It's because the situation on Forging Island is quite complex. It's akin to a small startup company. But unlike many startups. In many startups, if the initial team fails, they each go their separate ways, no hard feelings. If they succeed, few treat the initial team well. Most are kicked to the curb. But Soma can ensure a promising future for the founding members of Forging Island. A name came into Soma's view. Genin Daiga. The name Genin rang a bell for Soma. One of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist K*LLED by might do with a single kick. The user of the blunt sword helmet splitter. A kinsman of Genin Akabino, with a connection to Juzo, this person should be more trustworthy. His family is stable, and his forging technique is decent. After leaving Forging Island, he chose to become a mission ninja. And he works very hard. Soma's brow slightly furrowed. Genin Daiga's family situation doesn't seem to need money, so why is he working so hard on missions? To prove his strength and inherit the blunt sword? Or to improve his SK*LLS and go to the Land of Fire battlefield to avenge Genin Akabino? Genin Daiga's qualifications didn't completely meet Soma's requirements. However, given how hard Genin Daiga worked as a mission ninja, Soma believed that if Genin Daiga joined Forging Island, he wouldn't refuse to work overtime. Soma circled Genin Daiga's name, along with a few others that seemed promising. An ANBU ninja approached Soma. Chief Uehara. Please bring these individuals to Forging Island. I will arrange an assessment for them. Yes, Chief Uehara. Besides Genin Daiga, the other selected members were already in Hidden Mist Village. However, Genin Daiga also returned to the village the next day. The four blacksmiths were somewhat surprised when they received the notification from the ANBU ninja. So, our village has indeed produced another great blacksmith. Those ninjato weren't from before but were newly forged. Forging Island really won't be shut down. Information about the Kiraikimanji and other ninjato was widely known. However, not many knew how these ninjato came to be or who forged them. Apart from the village elders and those who had come into contact with the Forging Island ninjato, few knew the specifics. The third Mizukage considered Soma's safety. Even the previous blacksmiths on Forging Island were kept in the dark. But now, they knew. The hearts of these blacksmiths swelled with excitement. In the past, even when Forging Island was in decline, their lives there were much better than those of mission ninjas now. They greatly missed those days. And now, Forging Island had produced a great blacksmith. What did this mean? It meant Forging Island was going to rise again. At this moment, being able to return to Forging Island as a blacksmith meant there was no need to worry about the future. Great! To follow such a great blacksmith is a tremendous fortune for us. Forging Island will regain its glory in our hands. I wonder what that great blacksmith looks like. They were already excitedly discussing on the small boat heading to Forging Island. Except for Genin Daiga. He sat alone on one side, appearing somewhat out of place. We've arrived. With the ANBU ninja's announcement, the boat came to a stop. A figure was waiting at the dock in advance. Everyone, follow me. Juzo glanced at the four of them, then led them toward an empty forging room. One of the blacksmiths recognized Juzo. It's actually Biwa Juzo personally guiding us. Now we can be sure, the great blacksmith must be real. Another blacksmith looked at Juzo's waist. That sword, is it the Blue Rose Sword? It grants ninjas the additional ability of ice release. Juzo relied on the Blue Rose Sword to seriously injure Pakura, the hero of Hidden Sand Village, allowing our Hidden Mist Village to regain the advantage. A ninjato even more formidable than the Thunder Swords. Juzo led the four inside. You wait here. Chief Uehara will be here soon. With that, Juzo left. The blacksmiths exchanged glances. Chief Uehara. There aren't many blacksmiths left on Forging Island now. I took a glance as we passed by, it looked desolate, with far fewer people than before. The one referred to as chief must be that great blacksmith. But who could it be? None of the blacksmiths on Forging Island before seemed to be surnamed Uehara. Juzo approached Soma. Soma, they have arrived. Good. Soma nodded and looked to Arafuni beside him. Arafuni, let's go over there now. Yes, Chief Uehara. The two entered the vacant blacksmith shop and pushed open the door. A blacksmith, upon seeing someone enter, immediately approached. Upon raising his head, he saw Arafuni and Soma. Are you two Chief Uehara's disciples? When will Chief Uehara arrive? Soma and Arafuni were too young. They were so young that this blacksmith didn't even consider the possibility that one of them might be the great blacksmith. Arafuni frowned. Another blacksmith, upon seeing Soma, suddenly seemed to recall something. If I remember correctly, the name of this young man seems to be Uehara Soma, an orphan whose sensei has passed away. Could it be that Soma is Chief Uehara? Is he the great blacksmith? The blacksmith's pupils suddenly contracted. Instinctively, he wanted to pull back the blacksmith who had approached. But after some thought, he withdrew the action. Today, among the blacksmiths who came, there was a competitive relationship. Let me introduce myself first. Soma said, I am Uehara Soma, currently serving as the head of the forging department, in charge of forging island affairs. This is Arafune, an official blacksmith of the forging department. Instantly, the blacksmith who had approached with eagerness showed an embarrassed expression. He quickly lowered his head, his ears turning red. It only showed that this blacksmith wanted to do something courteous, but lacked the sophistication to do so. In short, his social SK*LLS were lacking. Several blacksmiths were shocked. Even Genin Daiga, who had previously shown little expression and seemed uninterested in the matter, showed a surprised expression and looked at Soma. Inside the forge, there was a gasp of disbelief. He's too young. 15 or 16 years old. Is he really the great blacksmith at such a young age? Being so young, he can create ninja tools like Kirito, Blue Rose Sword, Dragon Bone. It's frightening. For a moment, the four individuals found it difficult to digest this fact. However, they also understood that Soma couldn't be lying. No one could get A and BU Ninja and Biwajozo involved in a deception, so this was real. A blacksmith couldn't help but doubt their life choices. After practicing forging for so many years, studying for so many years, they ended up being surpassed in forging technique by someone much younger. Is this the difference in talent? But then, it turned into excitement. Because this blacksmith realized a question. That is, Soma, at such a young age, has already forged several ninjato of the level of the 7 ninja swords. How many such ninja tools can Soma forge in the future? Will he forge even stronger ninja tools? Soma's forging technique probably already surpasses that of the great blacksmith of the past. If I join Forging Island, I can also learn some things. Forging Island is not just about restoring its former glory, but it can climb to even higher peaks. If I can be a part of it, I will have no regrets in this life. Soma looked at Arafune. Arafune, introduce the rules to everyone. Yes, Chief Uehara. Arafune faced these older blacksmiths without any hesitation. Everyone, this assessment is divided into 2 parts. One part is forging technique, and the other part is an interview, which will be comprehensively evaluated by Chief Uehara. This time, we are only recruiting one person. However, those who perform excellently will be given priority consideration in the next round of recruiting apprentice blacksmiths. The assessment starts now. Arafune approached and lifted a piece of cloth beside him. Immediately, a collection of discarded ninja tools stored in wooden boxes was revealed. Please use these materials to forge an eligible ninjato according to your areas of expertise. Soma looked at the scene in front of him and started observing each of them silently. Chapter 102, The Approaching Rin's Incident and Promotion. The blacksmiths quickly began their work. They selected discarded kunao, placed them into the furnace for melting, and after the melting process, they proceeded with forging, shaping, quenching, annealing, and finally, the last step of polishing and processing. In this way, a complete ninjato can be forged. Soma and Arafune were watching attentively on the side. Especially Arafune. Because Arafune knew that the intern blacksmith recruited this time would basically be his future partner. Soma's ninjato forging was something other blacksmiths couldn't participate in. As Soma watched the blacksmiths forging on one side, he looked at the translucent screen in front of him. The number in the reputation column above had already exceeded 700 as his identity was revealed to the blacksmiths. After the assessment, if I demonstrate my forging technique, I should be able to gain another wave of reputation growth. So, reaching 1000 points is not far off. On the other side, Hojiki Manjutsu's figure arrived in the land of fire. A ninjato attracted the attention of surrounding ninjas. It was Hiramekarei. Hiramekarei possessed 2 abilities. One is liberation. Under the condition of inputting enough chakra, it can create a chakra sphere. This chakra sphere is extremely destructive. In the original plot, even Uchiha Sasuke's Susanoo was pushed back a long way. This shows the power of Hiramekarei. The second ability is chakra accumulation. K*ling an enemy can accumulate some chakra. This chakra will be stored in Hiramekarei. After K*ling enough enemies, releasing Hiramekarei will unleash unimaginable power. Hojiki Mangetsu looked at the enemies ahead and recalled the expectations of his family. Mangetsu, you are the first member of the Hojiki 7 Ninja Swordsmen. I hope you can set a good example. On the battlefield, let everyone reacquaint themselves with Hiramekarei. Let everyone know the name of the Hojiki 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Hojiki Manjutsu's expression became firm, and his grip on Hiramekare tightened. A little brat. The Konoha ninja opposite Hojiki Mangetsu didn't pay much attention. However, when the two got close and truly clashed, the Konoha ninja realized that their assumptions were completely wrong. Bang! Manjutsu's chakra condensed on Hiramekare. Liberation! In the next moment, a massive chakra sphere fell onto the Konoha ninja. In an instant, the Konoha ninja was blasted away. Crack! There was a continuous sound of bones breaking and shattering. The Konoha ninja fell to the ground, twitched a few times, and then lay still. Brat! The nearby Konoha ninjas glared angrily at Mangetsu. Mangetsu calmly looked at the Konoha ninja. I am not just some brat. My name is Hojiki Mangetsu. And I am one of the Hojiki 7 ninja swordsmen. To be honest, Mangetsu felt a bit awkward saying these words, but for the sake of his family, he was willing to do so. Hojiki 7 ninja swordsman. The Konoha ninja visibly paused. When Mangetsu acted on the battlefield under the banner of the Hojiki 7 ninja swordsman, the accompanying Mist Village ninjas' emotions became somewhat complicated. The Hojiki clan is too selfish, turning the esteemed 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist into the Hojiki 7 ninja swordsmen. But it must be admitted that Hojiki Mangetsu does indeed have remarkable talent. At such a young age, he already possesses the strength of a top-tier chunin. In our village's younger generation, after Hoshigaki Kisame, it might be Hojiki Mangetsu. What about Mamakai Zabuza? Compared to others, Mamakai Zabuza's talent might be a bit lacking, and he doesn't wield a ninjato. Zabuza, upon hearing such discussions, couldn't help but grip his ninjato tightly. Zabuza considered himself a genius, and he couldn't accept being overshadowed by Kisame. However, after the battle with Kakashi and Asuma, Zabuza realized that, for the time being, he couldn't match Kisame's strength. But Zabuza felt that as long as he could obtain a ninjato, there was hope for him to catch up to Kisame. However, what Zabuza didn't expect was that before he could catch up to Kisame, Hojiki Mangetsu was already close to catching up to him. This made Zabuza feel a strong sense of urgency. If I can't surpass Kisame and I'm being caught up to by Mangetsu, then what am I, a genius, worth? No. I can't fall behind. The discussions among the Hidden Mist Village ninjas continued. Unconsciously, it seems like the situation in the village has changed a lot. The 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist have disappeared. In their place, we have the Hojiki 7 ninja swords and the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hojiki. At the same time, there are also the newly emerged Zanpakuto and Shinigami squad. We don't know who will be stronger in the future. But for our overall Hidden Mist Village, it seems like a good thing. There are more and more ninjato, and there will be more and more ninjas wielding ninjato. This represents that the strength of our Hidden Mist Village will become stronger. Hojiki Manjutsu's name quickly spread throughout the ninja world. The battlefield is where ninjas become famous. Moreover, there are many topics surrounding Mangetsu. He is the descendant of the second Mizukage, Hojiki Gengetsu, the first member of the Hojiki 7 ninja swords, and there are comparisons with Zanpakuto and members of the Shinigami squad. As some Hidden Mist ninjas say, regardless of any contradictions or conflicts, it all represents the Hidden Mist Village moving towards greater strength. So, for Konoha, this is an extremely bad situation. In the Hokage building, Danzo entered the Hokage's office. Hiruzen, first Hoshigaki Kisame, then Mamakai Zabuza, and now there's another Hojiki Mangetsu. And we have only one Hotaki Kakashi in Konoha. Hiruzen, we not only need to consider Konoha's present but also its future. When all these people grow old, who will be able to support Konoha? Hiruzen remained silent for a moment. Shisui is not bad. But before he could finish, Danzo interrupted him. He's an Uchiha. Danzo looked at Hiruzen. Hiruzen, I know our perspectives differ, but now I'm entirely for Konoha. Hidden Mist Village has proven that policies like the Bloody Mist are effective. We don't need to fully replicate the Bloody Mist in Konoha, but at least we can implement its policies on some ninjas. That's how geniuses are nurtured. If you're unwilling to do this, then I will. I'll take all responsibility. Danzo's tone was earnest. However, Hiruzen still didn't agree immediately. Let me consider it again. Consider it again. After all, this is a long-term matter. There's no need to rush. Danzo, be patient. I'll think it over carefully. How is the situation on the Hidden Rock Village side now? Danzo frowned. After Minato went there, those hidden rock ninjas quieted down quite a bit. However, Hidden Sand Village is now at a disadvantage against Hidden Mist Village. After Biwajozo severely injured Pakura, Hidden Sand Village has been struggling. In addition to the young geniuses, ninjados are also a major issue. Those new ninjados, Hidden Mist Village calls them Zanpakuto, and the ninjas wielding the Zanpakuto are referred to as Shinigami Squad by Hidden Mist Village. It's quite obvious they are targeting us, Konoha. My people have already gathered some information. It seems that Hidden Mist Village has indeed produced a new great blacksmith. This means there may be even more ninjados appearing in the future. At that time, in term of geniuses, and elite ninjas, we in Konoha may be inferior to the Hidden Mist Village. Hiruzen, I suggest we focus our main efforts on dealing with Hidden Mist Village. We must find that great blacksmith and deal with him. Hiruzen nodded. Agreed. Danzo's expression improved slightly. But whether it's Konoha or Hidden Mist Village, neither knows that deep underground, within a cave, an elderly man was attached to many tubes and a figure clad in white quietly emerged from the earth. Madara-sama. Is everything arranged? It's all arranged. Uchiha Madara nodded. In that case, we can let that brat wake up. Yes, Madara-sama. Uchiha Madara's eyes flickered. Watching as his own friend, compelled to k*ll the girl he loves with his own hands, given this brat's character, he should be able to be of use to me. Only then can we truly save this dirty ninja world. I've prepared everything. Hashirama's cells, tailed beasts, friendship, love. Obito, go and witness the cruelty of this world. Experience true pain. When Uchiha Obito woke up, Uchiha Madara concealed all of this, not only helping Obito recover but also merging him with a white Zetsu, granting Obito additional power. Moreover, they deliberately gave Uchiha Obito freedom. When Uchiha Obito, who had regained his mobility, prepared to head to the battlefield where the Hidden Mist and Konoha ninjas were fighting with joy in his heart, Nohara Rin and Kakashi had already fallen into dire straits. Rin. Kakashi saw Rin being taken away and wanted to chase after her, but he was firmly blocked by several Hidden Mist ninjas. Get out of my way! In Kakashi's eyes, the Sharingan's Tomo spun rapidly, and the eye that wasn't Sharingan turned red as well. Having already lost his companion Obito, Kakashi didn't want to lose another companion. Even though Kakashi didn't show much enthusiasm towards these two companions on usual occasions, in his heart, he had long considered them among his closest people. However, the strength of these Hidden Mist ninjas was not weak, and they had the advantage in numbers. In this situation, Kakashi couldn't break through at all. He could only watch helplessly as Rin was taken away. Kakashi. It wasn't until a long time later that ninjas from Konoha came to support him. But by then, the Hidden Mist ninjas who took Rin had long disappeared. Kakashi hung his head. First it was Obito, now it's Rin. Before it was a trap, now it's an ambush. Is this what war is like? Kakashi clenched his fist, his nails sinking into flesh, blood flowing down his fingers continuously. Why? Why? In Kakashi's mind, he recalled Uchiha Obito's words once again. Why is it that there are ninjas protecting Asuma's back, but we have nothing? Is this fair? Forging Island. Mizukage-sama. Ao saw a small boat approaching Forging Island. Upon closer inspection, he saw that it was Third Mizukage standing at the bow. He quickly informed Soma inside the forge room. Soma nodded. Arafuni, I'll be stepping out for a moment. Please watch over here. Yes, Chief Uehara. The two of them went to the dock to welcome the Third Mizukage. Mizukage-sama. Soma, Ao. Mizukage-sama, how come you are here in person? Is there something wrong? Third Mizukage shook his head. Nothing in particular. I just happened to have some time, so I came to see how those blacksmiths are doing. Soma, are you satisfied with them? They are still under assessment. I will decide their fate based on the assessment results later. Will the forging department focus primarily on surgical blades in the future? Yes, Mizukage-sama, Soma replied. The scale of the ninja tools in the Land of Iron is too large. Given the situation on Forging Island, there's basically no chance to compete with the Land of Iron in ordinary ninja tools. So we can only take a route that requires higher technical requirements. Third Mizukage nodded. That's also a good idea. By the way, Soma, do you have any other requests? Third Mizukage asked. You have already crafted many ninja tools for the village and your contributions have been significant. But what the village has given you is not enough, Third Mizukage continued. In addition to the position of head of the forging department, I believe you are fully qualified to become one of the elders of the village. The guarding part of the forging department will no longer be handled by ANBU ninjas, but by the guard team of the forging department, which you will personally select. Third Mizukage declared. The allocation for the blacksmith department will be increased to 10 slots. The allocation for the guard team will be increased to 36 slots. Soma felt a slight movement in his heart. With these changes, the transformation of the forging department could be considered significant. With so many additional personnel slots, it was equivalent to Soma having his own power. No longer relying on ANBU or friendships to build Forging Island, now he possessed real authority. In other words, it was similar to the situation with Mito Kato Homura and Udaten Koharu in Konoha, a complete and qualitative change. Previously, Soma was just an ordinary elder in Hidden Mist Village. But now, he was among the most influential elders. Mizukage-sama, considering it's wartime, will this increase put pressure on the village's ninja manpower? Soma inquired. Third Mizukage shook his head. No, compared to the battlefield, your department is actually more crucial. Now that people want to know your true identity and appearance, there will surely be more people trying to get close here. The security of Forging Island must not be compromised. The village still needs some manpower for this, Third Mizukage remarked. Soma didn't refuse any more. In that case, I am grateful to Mizukage-sama. Chapter 103, the fifth temple is about to begin. However, recently, the situation on the battlefield has indeed worsened, Third Mizukage hesitated before saying. Hidden Sand Village has restrained many of our people, while it seems that Konoha has reached a temporary agreement with Hidden Cloud Village. They may now focus more of their energy on our Hidden Mist Village. Fortunately, the ninjato you crafted, Soma, has relieved a lot of pressure on the village. Otherwise, just Pakura alone would have made it difficult for our ninjas to cope. And last time, with the Kagaya clan incident, if it weren't for you crafting the dragon bone and proposing such suggestions, the impact would have been much greater than it is now. Seeing the conversation lead to this point, Soma deliberately mentioned the direction of the tailed beasts. Mizukage-sama, I remember there was a tailed beast rampage in Hidden Cloud Village before, causing tremendous damage. Is that correct? Yes, Third Mizukage nodded. The rampage of the Eight Tails Jinchuriki led to the deaths and injuries of over 100 ninjas in Hidden Cloud Village. In addition, many buildings were destroyed, resulting in tremendous losses. Mizukage-sama, do you think Konoha could be behind this? Soma asked. Hidden Cloud Village holds enmity towards the two largest ninja villages, Hidden Rock Village and Konoha. Konoha has a significant advantage in dealing with and controlling tailed beasts compared to other ninja villages. They possess the sealing jutsu of the Uzumaki clan, as well as the descendants of the Uzumaki clan and the Uchiha with Sharingan. Mizukage-sama, could Konoha adopt the same strategy against our Hidden Mist Village? Soma remembered that Orochimaru was indeed behind the incident in Hidden Cloud Village. While there might be no direct evidence against Konoha, there could still be some clues. Therefore, the subsequent actions of Hidden Cloud Village against Konoha could be significant. Soma still had some concerns about Rin's situation. It's not about caring for Rin. Instead, once the blame for Rin's death falls on Hidden Mist Village, then in the future, Obito would retaliate against Hidden Mist Village like a rabid dog. Soma a member of Hidden Mist Village, he will naturally be included in Uchiha Obito's targets for retaliation. One Uchiha Obito is manageable. But Uchiha Obito, Nagato, Konan, and other members of the Akatsuki organization, along with the Rain Ninja Village are a group. And then there are the countless White Zetsu. However, despite Soma creating scenarios multiple times to make Ao, using his Byakugan, look towards Third Mizukage, Ao hasn't seen any traces of Genjutsu on Third Mizukage's body. Either Madara's Genjutsu is too powerful, or Madara only temporarily controls the Third Mizukage, making it difficult to detect. In either case, Soma cannot directly tell others that Third Mizukage has been affected by Genjutsu. Without evidence, others would just think Soma is crazy. At the same time, Soma cannot directly tell Third Mizukage not to implant the Three Tails into Rin's body and then let the Three Tails rampage in Konoha. This is no different from directly mocking Madara to his face. Madara might take the opportunity to deal with Soma first. Therefore, Soma can only mention this topic in a reasonable manner. Just like now. Third Mizukage shook his head. I have naturally considered this. Don't worry, the Jinchuriki is very safe, and there's no chance I'd give Konoha an opportunity like that. If their Uchiha come, I'll make sure they regret it. However, Konoha does indeed have better conditions for dealing with tailed beasts and Jinchuriki than other ninja villages. Third Mizukage paused for a moment and a dull look vanished as quickly as it appeared on his eyes. Soma, you don't need to worry too much about these things. You just need to focus on your forging. Leave the rest to others, the village will handle it. Seeing this, Soma could only end the topic. Yes, Mizukage-sama. Just then, an ANBU ninja approached and whispered a few words to Third Mizukage. Third Mizukage's expression became serious. Soma, I have some matters to attend to, so I'll leave now. Alright, Mizukage-sama, goodbye. Soma watched Third Mizukage's departing figure. From what Third Mizukage implied, it seemed like he currently had no intention of causing a Three Tails outbreak in Konoha and was deliberately protecting the Jinchuriki, ensuring they wouldn't be approached easily. I wonder if the Rin incident will happen as it did in the original plot. But, this is all I can do. Otherwise, I'd have to take even higher risks and it's not worth it for now. Withdrawing his gaze, Soma returned to the forging room. At this point, the forging of the 4 blacksmiths was nearing completion. 3 of them chose to forge a katana. 1 blacksmith chose to forge a longsword. Chief Uehara. Arafuni, how is it? Arafuni said, the forging technique of these blacksmiths is all quite good, each has their own strengths, but they are not comprehensive enough individually to forge a surgical knife. Arafuni alone couldn't do it either. He was slightly lacking in forging. But apart from forging, Arafuni could complete the rest. In other words, these 4 blacksmiths, although older than Arafuni, were not much stronger in forging technique, and were more likely to be almost the same. This is why Forging Island is declining. The impact from the Land of Iron is one factor. And the SK*LL level of the blacksmiths on Forging Island is another. These 4 blacksmiths are already among the higher SK*LLED ones. Using the good rating in Soma's blacksmith system as a benchmark, there are hardly any blacksmiths on Forging Island who exceed the good level. Not even one as very good as Soma. It's like there's an invisible bottleneck limiting the blacksmiths on Forging Island to this ceiling. Soma thought about his own situation. If it weren't for being bound to Forging Island and receiving God's hand, boosting his forging technique to proficient level, it wouldn't have been so easy. Even if there were ideas, it would probably take tens or even hundreds of times longer. It's not even certain that they can be realized. Besides talent, the inheritance system is also a big problem. That great blacksmith from back then didn't even have the intention of passing down his forging technique. He only provided some technical concepts and names. There were no learning methods. It's like an academy sensei facing students, not explaining ninjutsu, not showing them hand signs, just mentioning the name of a ninjutsu and expecting the students to learn it. Except for extraordinary talents, no one can learn. Even someone like Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Fugaku had to explain and demonstrate before Itachi could immediately learn the fire release, Great Fireball Jutsu. If Uchiha Fugaku had only told Uchiha Itachi the name Fire Release, Great Fireball Jutsu, Itachi would certainly not have been able to learn it. I'm done. I'm done too. Successive completion by all 4. Let's start the test. Soma glanced at Arafuni. Arafuni, bring the props. Yes, Chief. Immediately, Arafuni brought a small cart over. Inside the cart were 4 large fish. The forging competition usually uses pigs. But pigs are expensive and scarce in Hidden Mist Village, so Soma used fish instead. These fish were large and had tough scales, making them harder to chop than pigs. Let's begin. The 4 blacksmiths exchanged glances. It was their first time encountering such a brutal and bloody test. However, they didn't hesitate. All 4 stepped forward simultaneously. Ding! Soma heard a crisp sound and saw that a katana made by one of the blacksmiths had suddenly broken into 2 pieces upon contact with the large fish. Soma's eye twitched. This forging competition has turned into a sword-breaking competition. The corresponding blacksmith's face turned pale. Obviously, he knew that his test results were very poor and he had no chance. Another katana got stuck in the bones of the large fish. After being pulled out, the katana had a small notch on it. Only the long sword directly cut through the large fish. However, it's not just about the quality of the sword, the strength of the person using it also matters. Jinin Daiga. From the beginning, Soma had high hopes for this person, and the result proved him right. There weren't many instances where someone initially overlooked ended up making a comeback. Moving on to the interview stage. One-on-one interviews. Give a brief introduction of yourselves. However, the two blacksmiths who performed poorly during the forging process were already on Soma's elimination list. During the interview process, Soma changed his mind. The successful katana blacksmith seemed to feel that the position was meant for him and actively brought up the issue of seniority with Arafune, hoping to take the lead. His reasoning was that he was older and had more experience. Then, he made demands regarding the job duties and environment. To be honest, in Soma's view, these were somewhat demanding requirements. It didn't seem like he was coming to start a career but rather to retire. This greatly lowered Soma's impression of him. On the other hand, the other failed katana blacksmith happened to touch on what Soma cared about. Chief Uehara, I really need this job. I can't work as a mission ninja. I have a large family that needs this income to support them. Besides forging, I can also do a lot of other miscellaneous tasks. Chief Uehara, please. Soma looked at the blacksmith in front of him. Among the 4 blacksmiths, this one ranked 3rd in terms of SK*LL level, but the attitude displayed by this blacksmith was exactly what Forging Island needed right now. Genin Daiga entered the meeting room next. Take a seat. Thank you, Chief Uehara. Genin Daiga sat down, hesitating for a moment. Chief Uehara, I actually prefer to be a mission ninja now. I want to improve my strength. The Genin clan is just a small ninja clan, and before, we had Genin Akabino to support us. But now, Genin Akabino is dead, and Blunt Sword was taken by the Hojiki clan. Being a blacksmith is not enough for me. And, my talent is indeed better suited for combat ninjutsu. It was just that I didn't like it before. But now, I have to support Genin clan. Soma wasn't particularly surprised by Genin Daiga's words. From the beginning, Soma noticed that Genin Daiga's attitude was different from the other 3 blacksmiths. What is your current level of strength? Jonin. Genin Daiga said, in these past years, I have mainly focused on forging, but my progress hasn't been significant. After seeing Chief Uehara, I understand even more that I lack talent in this area. To be honest, seeing Soma was somewhat of a blow to Genin Daiga. After working so hard for many years, his forging technique was still mediocre. And Soma, at such a young age, surpassed him by far. All right. Soma nodded. Since you don't want to be a blacksmith, I won't insist. Akabino senpai is also someone I respect. But don't rush to leave. Are you interested in making a deal? Someone who doesn't want to work on Forging Island, Soma won't force them. Forcing it won't be efficient and will affect the atmosphere of the entire Forging Island. However, a blacksmith who previously specialized in forging technique and can elevate their strength to the level of a jonin in their spare time proves that their ninja talent is definitely not weak. Genin Daiga's talent might even surpass that of Genin Akabino. Just in time, Soma is preparing for a forging session after recruiting apprentice blacksmiths. As the forging competition progressed, Soma saw that his reputation has risen to nearly 900. Therefore, Soma decided to showcase a forging session to raise his reputation to 1000 and quickly proceed to the next 10 pulls. While the forged shinobi tools may not be as good as Kiryu-Kimonji, they are still much stronger than those from the Land of Iron. Trading with Genin Daiga would be a good choice. What kind of trade? I'm preparing for a forging session later to demonstrate to the new blacksmiths. The shinobi tools forged will definitely be better than those from the Land of Iron. Are you interested? Genin Daiga hesitated for a moment, then his eyes lit up. I am. Soma added, but they won't be at the level of Kiryu-Kimonji. They'll just be stronger than ordinary shinobi tools. I must clarify, such shinobi tools are not easy to forge and cannot be made at any time. What type of shinobi tools do you like? Upon hearing Soma's follow-up question, Genin Daiga felt somewhat disappointed, but still interested. Genin Daiga thought for a moment. If possible, Chief Uehara, I hope it's a great axe. Similar to the axe of Helmet Splitter. Make it longer, and if it's at the level of a forging hammer, even better. No need for a hammer, an axe will do. With that length, it'll be more comfortable for me to use. I don't want something like blunt sword or helmet splitter. Okay, no problem. Soma had experience in forging axes. So far, Soma had put in the most effort and time to forge the Skeleton Emperor. The 2 eliminated blacksmiths received the notice and left. The blacksmith who thought they had been selected showed an expression of disbelief. This blacksmith wanted to find Soma to say something but was forcefully taken away by ANBU ninja. Remember, don't talk about anything that happens on Forging Island, or else you won't be able to bear the consequences. The blacksmith who performed poorly but was sincere in speech was overjoyed. Chief Uehara, thank you. Thank you. Soma glanced at the blacksmith and suddenly realized that he seemed to have unconsciously become the type of person he disliked the most. But there are still differences. I need these blacksmiths to work diligently. But the rewards I give them are genuine too. Overtime isn't scary. What's scary is not getting paid for overtime. Even Kakuzu is willing to work overtime for extra pay. As Soma forged, he also kept an eye on the semi-transparent screen. Genin Daiga and the new blacksmith looked at Soma's forging with expressions of astonishment. Is this the forging technique capable of forging Zanpakuto? Is this the chakra smelting technique? Is this the breathing forging method? No wonder. Chief Uehara's forging technique has indeed surpassed the level of all the blacksmiths on Forging Island, and by no small margin. The difference is huge. In front of Soma, the semi-transparent screen's reputation number was rapidly increasing. Completed. Soma took out the polished single-handed battle axe. At the same time, the reputation number on the screen also broke through 1000 points. Chapter 104, Obito, this pain. Why? Genin Daiga and the new blacksmith hurried forward to observe. The shinobi tools here are much stronger than those of the Land of Iron. The high-quality shinobi tools produced on Forging Island before can't compare either. Genin Daiga gripped the axe in his hand, quite satisfied. Genin Daiga, how is it? Chief Uehara, it's excellent. Good to hear. Chief Uehara, once I return home, I'll immediately send the money over. No rush, just send it over when you have time. Soma was in a good mood. Crafting this axe, not only did he gain reputation, but also traded it away on the spot. And just like that, Genin Daiga would be grateful to Soma. In terms of connections, he gained another one. According to Genin Daiga's own words, his ninja talent was above Genin Akabino's, so when Genin Daiga focused his energy on ninja training, he might reach the level of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. If there was another suitable ninjato, he might even reach the level comparable to Biwajozo's. Such characters, in the original plot, were not mentioned by name. They may have died in the war. On the battlefield, there are actually many SK*LLED ninjas who died anonymously like that. Genin Daiga left with the shinobi tool axe. Tanaka Shinosuke, welcome to join us. When Soma saw the name of this blacksmith, he couldn't help but be a little surprised. It's exactly the same as Sarutobi Hiruzen's eldest son. Thank you, Minister. From today, you are an apprentice blacksmith of Forging Island. If you pass the 1-month internship, you can become a regular employee and enjoy official benefits. Soma said, your usual work is to forge surgical knives with a ray funi. Yes, Minister. Soma hurried back to his room. Closing the doors and windows, he looked at the semi-transparent panel in front of him. 10 consecutive draws. Begin. In the next moment. Physique +1. Spirit +1. Spirit +1. Water Dragon Possession Blueprint X1. Physique +1. With a thought from Soma, the blueprint appeared. A stream of information flooded into his mind. Water Dragon Possession, originating from the world of Akame Gak*LL, Livers Taigu. The main effect is to enhance the ability to manipulate water, allowing manipulation of any water within the objects it touches. Made from the organs of dangerous creatures that control water flow. It looks like a ring. Soma looked at the blueprint in his hand. The contractor of this water dragon possession should be easier to deal with than Pyaja. Water attribute ninjas are everywhere in the Hidden Mist village. Therefore, the compatibility with the attribute must be high. As for the similarity to Liver. Liver in the world of Akame Gak*LL was originally a general of the empire, but because he refused a bribe, he was framed. Later, he was saved by Estheth and became Estheth's subordinate. No blank hexagram. This time, like with the Skeleton Emperor, it's a single-player dungeon instance. Soma hesitated for a moment. I'll adjust my status before entering the dungeon tomorrow. Even though this mission is likely not combat-oriented, I absolutely can't be careless. The next day, after breakfast, Soma entered the forging room. Enter. Along with God's hand, Soma even brought Pyaja. Because he was a blacksmith, Soma could use Pyaja. Transforming into a mermaid made Soma feel strange. But the enhancement was real. He had conducted some tests. After entering the mermaid form, Soma's basic attributes could reach the level of a Jonin. And with Soma's proficiency in water release, it can be said that Soma is a true water release Jonin. In terms of ninjutsu, among water release Jonin, he is outstanding. In the next moment, Soma's figure disappeared. Kakashi, Rin has been found. A Konoha ninja approached Kakashi. Where? Kakashi asked urgently. On the road near the village, but there are many hidden mist ninjas nearby, and Rin's condition seems a bit off. Be mentally prepared. Kakashi didn't hesitate, and rushed straight over. When Kakashi arrived, the ninjas from Konoha and the hidden mist were already engaged in battle. K*LL. Kakashi's eyes were bloodshot. Now Kakashi could already feel the burden of the Sharingan on himself. Constantly draining his chakra uninterrupted. Only when covered with an eye mask would he feel a bit better. Unable to turn it off, Kakashi's sustained combat ability was much worse than before. This made Kakashi consider at one point whether to remove the Sharingan and replace it with an ordinary ninja's eyes. On the battlefield, corpses were everywhere, so finding an intact eye wasn't difficult. But Kakashi didn't do that. Uchiha Obito was already dead. This was Uchiha Obito's only memento. After the hidden rock ninjas retreated, Konoha's ninjas searched, and Kakashi also searched. But Uchiha Obito's body was not found. It can be said that for Kakashi, this eye is the only proof of his comrade's existence. However, Kakashi didn't think that the Sharingan had no benefits for him. The dynamic vision of the Sharingan is extremely powerful. Some movements that seemed fast to Kakashi before now appear to be slowed down. Moreover, he can observe the flow of the opponent's chakra. See clearly the opponent's hand seals. Therefore, even copying ninjutsu is possible. Kakashi hasn't used it to copy yet, but relying on the powerful dynamic vision, predicting the opponent's attacks, Kakashi has gained a lot of advantages. However, the presence of this Sharingan has caused many Uchiha ninjas to have significant grievances against Kakashi. If it weren't for Kakashi's sensei, Minato Namikaze, Uchiha members would have already taken action against Kakashi. Even so, there are still many discussions about this. But Kakashi doesn't care. Kakashi only cares about a few people. And now, the one Kakashi cares about the most is Rin. Splurt. A stab, a withdrawal. Blood splattered. As Kakashi fought, he exerted all his strength to move closer to where Rin was. Under intense anger, Kakashi became calmer. Faced with the attacks of the hidden mist ninjas, he reached the utmost level of calmness. All attacks were dealt with in the most correct manner. His body seemed to be in a state of evolution. Kakashi's body naturally didn't evolve. But his will, his fighting, was indeed evolving. Kakashi was getting stronger. Rin. However, when Kakashi crossed countless enemies and finally rushed to Rin's vicinity, Rin woke up, opened her eyes. When she looked at Kakashi, at first, her eyes showed surprise. But then, it turned into sadness. Rin looked at Kakashi, revealing a grim smile, a gentle grim smile. Kakashi, they've sealed the three tails inside my body. They want to send me to Konoha and then guide the tailed beast to erupt, causing destruction to Konoha. Kakashi, we can't let that happen. It would cause too much damage. It would lead to the deaths of countless people. Upon hearing the news, Kakashi was suddenly stunned. After surveying the surroundings, Rin's gaze became resolute, as if she had made a decision. Kakashi, there's only one way to stop this from happening. That is to K*LL me. K*LL me, Kakashi. Only then can Konoha be saved. Kakashi subconsciously looked around and realized that at some point, almost all the other ninjas from Konoha had fallen. All around were hidden mist ninjas. And the other Konoha ninjas meant to provide support wouldn't arrive so quickly. With his strength alone, Kakashi couldn't hold them off. In other words, what Rin said was correct. If they continued, the hidden mist ninjas would surely send Rin to Konoha. At that time, it would be a real disaster for Konoha. However, Kakashi hesitated. Was it really okay to K*LL a comrade with his own hands for the village? Is the village really more important than a comrade? What is the village? What does it mean? Can he represent the village? Or is it someone like Asuma who can represent the village? The hidden mist ninjas surrounded them, encircling Kakashi and Rin in the middle. Kakashi, there's no time. Rin urged loudly. Quickly, K*LL me. For the village, K*LL me quickly. At Rin's urging, Kakashi subconsciously condensed lightning release chakra in his hand. Chidori flickered in the hand holding the kunai. But he couldn't take the final step. Kakashi couldn't do it. At that moment, Rin rushed towards Kakashi on her own initiative. She slammed her body onto the kunai in Kakashi's hand. Splurt! The sound of the kunai piercing the body entered Kakashi's ears. At the same time, the lightning of Chidori erupted within Rin's body, piercing even her heart. Kakashi's eyes widened. Kakashi, I've been placed under a cursed seal and can't commit suicide, so I'm sorry. I know this is cruel for you. Don't blame me. Remember me. Remember me and Obito. That's enough for me. I died for the village, and I have no regrets. Blood flowed from Rin's mouth, trailing down, dropping onto Kakashi's hand. The warm blood provided Kakashi with even greater stimulation. Ah! Kakashi roared, his anger reaching its peak. The Sharingan in his eye socket began to spin wildly. Suddenly, the pattern on it changed. From the double tomo, it transformed into 3 sharp sickles assembled together. A burst of intense ocular power erupted above Kakashi's eyes. The tremendous impact caused Kakashi to lose consciousness directly and fall down. Rin's body collapsed as Kakashi fell, softly lying on top of Kakashi. At this moment, Kakashi felt an extreme hatred towards the Hidden Mist Village. Even though there had been conflicts between the Hidden Mist Village and Konoha before. However, Kakashi didn't feel this way before. He just felt that in war, death was a normal thing. He even admired the strength displayed by Hoshigaki Kisame. But now, Kakashi's mindset had changed. While Kakashi fainted, his angry shouts didn't stop. At this moment, the Mist Ninjas finally noticed that on the other side, a figure had appeared at some point. Wrapped in a black robe, wearing a mask. But everyone could feel the anger beneath that black robe, the anger beneath that mask. Uchiha Obito's mentality collapsed. In order to save Rin, to save Kakashi, Uchiha Obito sacrificed his own life. He even gave one of his eyes to Kakashi. But now? Uchiha Obito, who had finally returned, could only watch helplessly as his comrade, his favorite girl, Rin, died at the hands of his comrade, his best friend. The pain, it's unbearable. It's driving me crazy. Uchiha Obito hugged his head with both hands, his aura constantly changing. Why? 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 Damn it! Rin! I want you all dead. All of you! Uchiha Obito rushed towards the Mist Ninjas. Ignoring everything, at any cost, he just wanted to K*LL all the Mist Ninjas present. Would release, cutting jutsu. Initially not paying much attention to Uchiha Obito, it was only when the Mist Ninjas, who were troubled by the inability to complete the mission due to Rin's death, saw his strength that they showed expressions of fear. Deal with this presumptuous guy first. But soon it turned into shouts of run. But it was already too late. Harnessing the power of Hashirama's cells, White Zetsu's abilities, and the Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Obito is now unstoppable for the Mist Ninjas present. Die. Chapter 105, Can an impromptu work be comparable to the 7 ninja swords? Bang! 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 Figures fell one by one. Soon, all the Mist Ninja were K*LLED by Obito. Obito arrived in front of Kakashi and Rin. Rin's body had begun to grow cold. Kakashi, you've disappointed me greatly. You didn't protect Rin. Obito lowered his body, reaching out to touch Rin's face. The icy touch made Obito's heart grow colder. Hidden Mist Village. I will never forgive you. And Konoha, you're too unfair. Why should Rin and I die? Why does Asuma have protection? Minato-sensei, do you know about all of this? The whole world is rotten. Suddenly. Boom. A roar of thunder echoed. Dark clouds gathered in the sky. Rain drizzled down. Obito didn't take cover, letting his body get wet. The scent of blood permeated the air. Rainwater mixed with blood, forming crimson streams. Footsteps approached. Obito stood up, feeling slightly relieved seeing Konoha's ninjas. Then, he glanced deeply at Rin's corpse on the ground. Rin! Wait for me. I will avenge you. Before the Konoha ninjas arrived, Obito left. Initially, Obito had planned to return to Konoha and continue serving as a ninja. Despite feeling somewhat inferior due to his deformed appearance, he believed that Kakashi and Rin would accept him. But now, everything was gone. Obito could only return to the dark underground for now. The news of the Three Tails incident spread rapidly back to the two ninja villages. Danzo arrived at the Hokage building promptly. Hiruzen, I was right, wasn't I? Hidden Mist Village is the biggest enemy we should be concerned about next. It's fortunate their plan failed. If it had succeeded, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Hiruzen's expression was also solemn. Minato will be responsible for Hidden Rock Village, and as for Hidden Mist Village, let Orochimaru handle it. Danzo nodded. Orochimaru is a good choice. Currently, Konoha was facing a succession issue. Hiruzen was already very old. His energy was not as it used to be. In this situation, it was necessary to choose the next Hokage. Currently, there were three popular candidates, Minato, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. But Jiraiya himself isn't interested, so it's just Minato and Orochimaru. Orochimaru, as Hiruzen's disciple, is actually closer to Danzo. After Danzo left, an ANBU ninja walked in. How is Kakashi doing now? Back to you, Hokage-sama. Kakashi seems to have been quite shaken and is not in a good state. Then let him come back to the village. Hokage-sama, Kakashi probably doesn't want to return to the village now. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. He wants to K*LL the Mist Village ninja, to avenge Rin. Yes. Then let him stay on the battlefield, but arrange it a bit, don't let him go to too dangerous areas. Yes, Hokage-sama. The ANBU ninja left. Hiruzen sighed. For Kakashi, this is indeed quite a blow. But, who hasn't experienced this in war? I also witnessed the sacrifices of Kagami and Tobirama-sensei back then. That's what it means to be a ninja. It's fortunate I chose the route of becoming bodyguard for the Land of Fire daimyo for Asuma, otherwise, the Hidden Mist Village might have captured not Rin, but Asuma. That way, it would have caused greater harm to Konoha. The Hidden Mist Village actually made such a move. Very well. If you want to fight, then fight. Is Konoha afraid of just one Hidden Mist Village? When the news reached the Hidden Mist Village, some Mist Ninja were excited when they heard the first half, and sighed with regret when they heard about the failure. However, many Mist Ninja found it suspicious. Such a plan seems a bit too crude. Like taking a chance. The possibility of success was never considered. An ANBU ninja entered the Mizukige's office to report to the third Mizukage. Mizukage-sama, the plan to release the Three Tails in Konoha has failed. The third Mizukage raised his head, showing a hint of confusion in his eyes. What plan? The ANBU ninja hesitated for a moment. Mizukage-sama, it's the plan you previously formulated, to seal the Three Tails in the Konoha ninja Nohara Rin, and then send Rin to Konoha to incite a tailed beast riot. When did I? Suddenly, the ANBU ninja's words seemed to trigger something. The third Mizukige's gaze became vacant for a moment. It was indeed my plan. Has it failed? Yes, Rin chose to sacrifice herself, deliberately colliding with Kakashi, ending her own life. With Rin's death, the Three Tails also disappeared. The death of a Jinchuriki will lead to the death of the tailed beast. However, tailed beasts are beings of chakra and generally do not die permanently. Instead, they will revive after a certain period of time. I understand. The Rin incident escalated the hatred of many Konoha ninjas towards the Hidden Mist Village. Compared to before, the attacks became fiercer, and some were even more reckless. Facing Konoha's counterattack, the front lines of the Mist Ninjas had to retreat somewhat. Hiramekarai, release. Just as Mangetsu sent a Konoha ninja flying, he suddenly felt an extremely dangerous aura and instinctively turned to block with Hiramekarai. Ding! Kakashi's short sword fell on Hiramekarai. The immense force pushed back Mangetsu, but it didn't end there. Kakashi's strength far surpassed Mangetsu's. Both of them are geniuses. However, Mangetsu has several years less experience than Kakashi, and they were crucial years. Puchi! Kakashi's kunai from his other hand sliced across Mangetsu's arm. Immediately, his clothes were torn, revealing skin and flesh beneath, blood flowing profusely. Hitaki Kakashi! Mangetsu's expression turned grave. Kakashi's name was familiar to Mangetsu. As a Konoha genius who had clashed with Kisame several times, though inferior to Kisame, Kakashi's strength surpassed even Zabuza, a top talent in the Hidden Mist Village. Mangetsu didn't think his own talent was inferior, but his current strength was indeed lacking compared to Kakashi's. Kakashi showed no signs of hesitation. At this moment, the image of Rin's death kept replaying in his mind. Kakashi had only one thought for all of the Hidden Mist Village, K*LL. His attacks grew faster and faster. Mangetsu fell into an absolute disadvantage, only able to retreat. But soon, there was nowhere to retreat. Ding! Hiramekurei in Mangetsu's hand was knocked away. In Kakashi's hand, lightning flickered, stabbing straight towards Mangetsu. Mangetsu's pupils shrank sharply. I can't dodge it. I can't stop it. Am I going to die here? No, I can't. I haven't fulfilled my family's expectations yet. At this moment, Kakashi suddenly felt a strong wind behind him. He turned around only to see an axe, in a very smooth state, chopping towards him. Sharp and heavy. Kakashi had to abandon Mangetsu for now, dodging the axe's attack by shrinking his stature. Bang! The axe blade fell to the ground, creating a huge crack. Mangetsu showed a look of relief, taking deep breaths as he quickly moved to the side of the newly arrived Mist Village ninja. Kakashi's gaze fell on the huge axe. Is that a new Zanpakuto from the Hidden Mist Village? Are you also a member of the Shinigami Squad? The spread of the terms Zanpakuto and Shinigami Squad by the third Mizukage had reached Konoha, and everyone now was familiar with these terms. Genin Daiga shook his head. No, this isn't at the level of a Zanpakuto. But it's indeed an excellent ninjato. Hitaki Kakashi of Konoha, let me be your opponent next. With one hand, Genin Daiga lifted the axe, bringing it to shoulder level, pointing it at Kakashi. My name is Genin Daiga. Kakashi's expression remained cold. I don't care about your name. To me, you and him are no different. I just want to wipe out all of you Mist Village ninjas, that's all. Kakashi added silently in his mind. For Rin's revenge. Mangetsu stepped back to the side. Both Daiga and Kakashi had their strengths and weaknesses. Kakashi's advantages lay in his speed, his exceptional dynamic vision with the Sharingan, and the formidable power of his lightning release attacks. Daiga, on the other hand, had recently transitioned from being a blacksmith to a combat ninja. Despite having decent talent and fundamental attributes, and being proficient in most ninjutsu, his experience in combat was relatively limited. Thus, he inevitably showed some greenness. However, Daiga's stamina and chakra reserves far surpassed Kakashi's. Moreover, Daiga possessed immense strength, a swing of his axe was nearly impossible for Kakashi to block, forcing him to rely on evasion. Kakashi's expression became solemn. Daiga moved vigorously, more like a warrior from the samurai era than a ninja. Mangetsu's gaze couldn't help but focus on the axe in Daiga's hand. This axe should be from Forging Island. Not a Zanpakuto, but among ninjato, it's considered quite good. It doesn't seem to be worse than blunt sword. Thinking of this, Mangetsu couldn't help but feel a pang in his heart. If ninjato that aren't Zanpakuto can compare to blunt sword, then how can the Hojiki 7 ninja swords compete with Zanpakuto? Was the family's choice wrong? What should the Hojiki clan do in the future? Recalling the confident demeanor of his family members at the family meeting, Mangetsu couldn't help but sigh. Kakashi kept maneuvering. While evading, he attacked Daiga with Kunao and Shuriken. Opportunity. Now is the time. Kakashi finally created an opportunity. With a flash, he appeared in Daiga's blind spot. Daiga-senpai, be careful. Mangetsu loudly warned. But it was already too late. Chidori. Kakashi's hand crackled with lightning as he thrust towards Daiga. The sensation of piercing the target came. However, Kakashi's surprise lasted only a moment, the next moment, his expression drastically changed. Because Daiga's axe came down much faster than Kakashi had anticipated. Crack! At the critical moment, Kakashi pulled himself away. But the massive axe blade still sliced across Kakashi's chest. A large wound appeared. At the same time, Kakashi's figure was sent flying backward. Without even looking at his own wound, Daiga directly pursued Kakashi. Kakashi was surprised. To be able to counterattack so quickly after such an injury. Kakashi didn't speak, but Daiga could see it in his eyes. Surprised. This level of pain is nothing. When I was a blacksmith, I endured much worse injuries, and being accustomed to pain was necessary in the environment of molten lava on Forging Island. Almost all blacksmiths on Forging Island had experienced molten lava splashing onto their bodies during the forging process. That kind of pain was much worse than a knife cutting through the skin. Kakashi looked deeply at Daiga. The next moment, lightning flashed beneath his feet. Kakashi swiftly turned and left. While Kakashi harbored deep hatred towards the Mist Ninja and sought revenge for Rin, he wasn't foolish. In the current situation, he knew he was no match for Daiga and continuing would be futile. To have hope for revenge, one must stay alive. Daiga watched Kakashi's figure disappear without pursuit. In terms of speed, Kakashi had the advantage. Daiga swung his axe to get rid of the blood and returned to Manjutsu's side. Are you alright? I'm fine, Genin-senpai, thank you. No problem, let's go to the others. Okay. Mangetsu hesitated for a moment but couldn't help asking, Genin-senpai, is the axe in your hand forged by Soma-senpai? Daiga didn't answer. Mangetsu explained, I've been to Forging Island before and met Soma-senpai. This ninjato shouldn't be of the level that the Land of Iron can produce, so I thought it might be crafted by Soma-senpai. At this moment, Daiga nodded. Yes, this axe is indeed crafted by Chief Uehara. It's not a Zanpakuto, but its quality surpasses ordinary ninja tools by a lot. It's extremely sharp and durable. There's no need to hold back when swinging it. Chapter 106, Liver's Confusion. Entering the dungeon instance, Soma surveyed the surroundings. Dark, damp, and even a faint smell lingering in the air. All these reminded Soma that this was not a good place. In the corner opposite, some dry grass was piled up. On the dry grass lay a figure. A slight snoring sound came from it. A voice echoed in Soma's mind. Instance mission, the confusion of liver. Mission reward, materials for water dragon possession. Would you like to accept the mission? Accept. The next moment, a scene appeared in front of Soma. A middle-aged man, lofty and holding a high position in the empire as a general. The middle-aged man was loyal to the country, loyal to his position. For the country, he could sacrifice his life. However, just because he did not bribe the prime minister like others, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison, falling from grace in an instant. Soon after, a woman with long blue hair came to the prison and pulled the middle-aged man out. Since then, the middle-aged man became a subordinate of the woman. Apart from admiring the woman, all the middle-aged man had left was the pursuit of power. Until the middle-aged man met a young man whom he admired. He used to be a soldier of the empire, but later turned into a member of a rebellious assassin organization. The middle-aged man fought the youth. In a battle where both were wounded, the youth was K***led. But at the same time, the middle-aged man lost his life too. At the moment of death, the middle-aged man was very confused. He didn't know why he had lived this life. He didn't know if what he had done was right or wrong. He didn't know what the world would become in the future. The youth's words before his death had an impact on the middle-aged man. Can you answer my doubts? The scene disappeared. The figure in the corner opened its eyes, stood up, and looked at Soma. It was Liver, whom Soma had just seen in the previous scene. Regarding Liver, Soma doesn't know much. The scenes presented are basically what Soma knows happened from the anime. At first, when Soma saw the blueprint for water dragon possession, he thought that this might be an opportunity to verify whether the world of Akame Gak**ll had been influenced by him. But now, Soma is not sure if he can verify it. Okay. Soma replied. Regardless of his answer, whether Liver is satisfied or not, he had to agree first. Regarding this question, I think only the future can answer you. Liver was stunned for a moment. Do you know the future of our world? Soma nodded. In the future, your empire's little emperor is defeated, the prime minister is K***led, the decadent country completely decays, but on this rotten land, a new country is born. In this new country, governance is orderly, and people live in peace, Soma briefly described. Liver paused for a moment. What about his death, Sama? She's dead. Soma wasn't sure if this dungeon instance corresponded to the manga or the anime. But regardless, Asthetha's fate was death. After being defeated, she froze herself with her freezing power. Then shattered, turning into countless particles of ice dust. Liver's pupils contracted. Who could k*LL's death Sama? Do you remember the subordinate you once admired? Bullet. Soma nodded. It was Bullet's comrades who defeated us death. Liver fell silent for a while. Not long after, speaking slowly and softly. The little emperor was defeated, the prime minister died, as death Sama died too. After the empire fell, and the revolutionary army won, did that world really become better? Will there never be any more wrongful accusations? Can the world become fair? Just because they won, does it mean what they did was right? Does it mean Bullet's persistence was right? As he spoke, his voice grew louder, as if trying to convince himself with the volume of his voice. Soma said. It's certain that things will improve. The kingdom during the reign of the little emperor and the prime minister could be considered the bottom of the barrel for a kingdom. Even if the new kingdom is still bad, it is still going to be better than the current one. Whether there can be absolute fairness, whether there will never be any more wrongful accusations, I can't guarantee. No world has absolute fairness. No kingdom is without darkness. But in these aspects, the new kingdom will definitely be better than the old empire. As for what you said, that just because they won doesn't mean what they did was right, doesn't mean Bullet's persistence was right, isn't that your own point of view? You admired us death because of her strength. You pursue power because you want to win, don't you? Liver paused. Indeed, he was pursuing power, believing that strength meant correctness. Power meant victory. Since the revolutionary army won, then the correct side should be the revolutionary army. And judging from Soma's description of the civilians in the new kingdom, it also proved what Bullet said, joining the revolutionary army for the sake of the civilians was the right choice. No matter from which perspective, Bullet's choice seemed more correct than his own. But do I have other choices? That's a question you have to ask yourself. If you followed us death out of gratitude, then dying by Bullet's hand should leave you with no regrets. If you pursued power, then you also shouldn't have any regrets, Soma said. If you want to change that dirty empire, then obviously, your choice is wrong. No one demands that a person must live up to certain standards. You can be a hero, or a criminal, or nothing at all. Understanding what you truly want is enough. Soma's words left Liver lost in thought. After a long while, Liver looked deeply at Soma. What you said makes sense. I followed us death Sama partly out of gratitude for saving me, but more so because I realized her strength. Deep down, I'm actually afraid. I fear such things happening to me again. So I disguise myself with gratitude. But when it comes to pursuing power, I am serious. But in my heart, I didn't have Bullet's thoughts of fighting for the people, for fairness, for justice. I only wanted the strength to survive. I just want to seek revenge against that person. In my heart, I've masked myself with a layer of righteousness. I'm hypocritical, selfish, even deceiving myself. Liver took a deep breath. Now, I understand. I, indeed, am not like Bullet. Now that the Prime Minister is dead, the Empire has collapsed, and even as Death Sama is dead, I have nothing to be confused about, nothing to be unresolved, nothing to regret. Thank you for helping me see myself. A voice echoed in Soma's mind. Congratulations, host, on completing the mission. Would you like to leave the dungeon instance? However, Soma didn't leave immediately. Instead, he looked at Liver and asked, "Can I ask you a question?" "What question?" "What do you think of Dr. Stylish?" Regarding the dungeon instance of the world of Akame Gak*LL, Soma had entered three shams. One was Akame's regret, one was Dr. Stylish's ambition, and the third was the present one. Regarding Akame's situation, apart from the fact that the young girl and her family were saved, there probably wouldn't be much change. Therefore, Soma asked about Dr. Stylish. A Dr. Stylish who, when he was young, witnessed the forging of a taigu, was inspired, and gained insight, was likely to have changed somewhat compared to before. Dr. Stylish? The Dr. Stylish from the Empire Research Institute. Soma didn't know what the Empire Research Institute was, but nodded. I don't know much about this person, but I've heard that he has a paranoid love for research and forging, and spends all day in the Research Institute without going out. Upon hearing this, Soma was certain. His actions within the dungeon instance indeed would affect the corresponding world. In the original plot, Dr. Stylish didn't spend all day in the Research Institute. Instead, he would operate as a member of the Jaegers. The fact that Liver didn't mention this at the moment indicated that Dr. Stylish seemed to have made different choices in this regard. Having obtained the answer, Soma didn't linger any longer. Leave. Chapter 107, Water Dragon Possession, complete. Returning to Forging Island. Soma looked at the materials in front of him. Compared to any previous materials, there were fewer. After all, Water Dragon Possession is just a ring. The material were two types of metal, a gemstone, and something that looks like a biological organ. And in fact, it really is an organ of a living creature. In the world of Akame Gak*LL, many of the taigu are made from materials taken from dangerous creatures. Water Dragon Possession is one, Demon's Extract is another, and Crosstail as well. In terms of forging difficulty, nothing is higher than the Skeleton Emperor. It's just that it requires a certain level of precision. Similar to God's Hand. I had no problem making God's Hand, so making Water Dragon Possession shouldn't be a problem either. Now that I have God's Hand, my precision abilities are way stronger. Soma took out the blueprint and looked at it carefully. While looking at the blueprint, he simulated the process in his mind. The difficulty isn't very high. This dungeon instance task is relatively simple, and my current energy level is good. So let's start forging right away. Soma first took out two pieces of metal. Chakra smelting technique. After smelting, he began to forge them. Ding! 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 A series of hammering sounds rang out. The key to Water Dragon Possession lies in the organ of the dangerous creature. The metal ring to be forged needs to have special patterns engraved on it, somewhat similar to Pyaja's situation. But not as complex. In addition to the patterns, the gemstone also assists in control. A piece of metal was forged into a container. Soma placed the organ of the dangerous creature into the container and sealed it. Then, he forged the other piece of metal into the shape of a ring base. Petal-like patterns were carved out, connecting it with the previous metal container. At this point, Soma could already feel the power emanating from the incomplete ring. Even the surrounding moisture seemed to become more dense. Only the gemstone setting is left. Soma took the gemstone and placed it in the center of the ring base. He gently pressed it into the reserved space. A sound was heard. Congratulations to the host for completing the forging. Water Dragon Possession successfully forged. Completion level, excellent. Congratulations to the host for gaining 2000 swordsmanship experience. An excellent level of completion, not bad. At the same time, a stream of information flooded into Soma's mind. Water Dragon Possession. Type, ring. Quality, excellent. Abilities, water flow control and excellent level replica, capable of manipulating liquids and objects it touches, transforming them into weapons or defenses. The effect is enhanced when using the wearer's blood as material. Note, according to the third rule of the blacksmith, the power of this ninja tool cannot harm the forger. Soma put on the Water Dragon Possession. Rise. The water in the cup moved out as Soma's finger moved. It changed shapes. It certainly can control water flow quite well. However, for my strength, it won't be a significant boost, just more attack methods. Because I already have a perfect level water release talent. What I lack are not methods, but basic attributes. If the Water Dragon Possession completes the contract, my water release talent will likely be elevated to an even higher level. It doesn't enhance my overall strength as much as Pyaja does. A contract would be a better choice. Pyaja didn't earn me much reputation. Skeleton Emperor gained some, but not a lot. After all, the third Mizukage can't be fighting on the front lines at this time. Soma took off the Water Dragon Possession. But this ring-shaped Water Dragon Possession isn't conspicuous enough to earn me reputation. A ring is hard for people to notice. Unless the user mentions it themselves. But the user can't go around introducing it to everyone. I need to make this ninja tool more noticeable. For example, by adding an outer casing. Soma took some already forged metal from the side. This was left over from the axe he made as a demonstration for the new blacksmith. I can forge a sword and hide the ring inside the hilt. This way, it will look much more noticeable and won't compromise its structure or functionality. Soma immediately started working on it. Since the materials were ready, only the shaping step remained. For Soma, this was no challenge. The sounds of hammering echoed in the forge again. Unnoticed, the sky grew dark. Creak. Soma walked out with the sword. He saw Ao and Jozo intensely discussing something. Jozo-senpai, Ao-senpai, what's going on? Soma. Ao sighed and said. Bad news from the Land of Fire battlefield. Mizukage-sama's team captured a medical ninja from Konoha, named Rin. Then they implanted the three tails into Rin's body. They planned to use Rin as a living bomb. The idea was to send Rin to Konoha, release the three tails there, and let it wreak havoc on Konoha. But the plan failed. Rin deliberately ran into Kakashi's kunao. As a result, the three tails died too. No one knows when it will revive, or where it will reappear. Soma's heart sank. This was not what Soma wanted to see happen. A mad dog like Uchiha Obito was too troublesome. Soma had already tried to take action through the third Mizukage. He had made several attempts without putting himself in danger. And Soma remembered very clearly from the last time. The third Mizukage himself had said that Konoha had many ways to counter the tailed beasts and that he had arranged for the protection of the Jinchuriki. This indicates that this indeed wasn't the third Mizukage's plan. To be honest, I don't quite understand why Mizukage-sama would make such an arrangement, Soma said. Ao continued, it's not very wise. Everyone knows that the Uzumaki clan's sealing jutsu is in Konoha's hands. This greatly restrains the tailed beasts. Otherwise, the Uzumaki clan wouldn't have been besieged and destroyed back then. Moreover, Konoha currently has an Uzumaki clan member SK*LLED in sealing jutsu. Kushina Uzumaki's strength is certainly not weak. If she weren't a Jinchuriki and Konoha wasn't reluctant to send her to the battlefield, her reputation might be as high as the Yellow Flash. Kushina Uzumaki's strength may not be on par with Minato Namikaze. However, in the ninja world, top-tier female ninjas are relatively few. Therefore, top-tier female ninjas of the same strength as male ninjas tend to become more famous. Just like Hidden Sand Village's Raza and Pakura. Even though Raza is now the acting Kazekage, and even though Raza's strength is not below Pakura's, Pakura's reputation in the ninja world is not any less than Raza's. Among the three Sunin, Tsunade's combat strength is also weaker than Orochimaru and Jiraiya, but her fame is not. However, Tsunade's reputation is also bolstered by her status as a Senju princess. Sending the Three Tails Jinchuriki to Konoha, it wouldn't be difficult for Konoha to seal it. In that case, wouldn't it be like giving Konoha a tailed beast for free? And with the Jinchuriki's death? No matter how you look at it, this isn't a reasonable plan. Jozo couldn't understand either. Soma believed that there were not many ninjas in Hidden Mist Village who would think this action is rational. Because this wasn't a well-thought-out plan by the third Mizukage. The probability of success is low, and even if successful, the effect may not be very good. Hidden Mist Village has much better methods to deal with Konoha. This is simply a plan arranged by Madara to nurture Obito's growth. Through such pain, Obito will unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan. At the same time, it disappoints the ninja world, particularly Konoha. In this way, Obito can become an eligible pawn in the eyes of Madara. Madara can then confidently entrust future plans to Obito. Madara can then rest assured and pass away peacefully. But fortunately, the worst-case scenario didn't happen, Jozo said. Ao snorted. This situation is already bad enough. The Three Tails died, and so many ninjas in the village died for nothing. It's a useless sacrifice that didn't even cause any harm to Konoha. And for what? For a Uehara Rin's death? It's hardly worth mentioning. If it were Hitaki Kakashi who died, then it would have some value. Soma looked up, gazing towards the distant direction of the Land of Fire, across the vast ocean. He sighed inwardly. With my current situation, it's indeed difficult to stop this. There are too many restrictions from all sides. After all, the one who orchestrated this plan is Madara. He's the only one in recent ninja history who can rival the god of the ninja world, Senju Hashirama, and he has the assistance of Black Zetsu and so many White Zetsu. Even if the third Mizukage dies, Madara will find a way to complete this plan. From now on, Hidden Mist Village will face the crazed retaliation of Obito. But there's also some good news. Soma's eyes flickered. That is, not long from now, Madara will die. Obito is insane, but he's not as terrifying as Madara in every aspect. Among the Akatsuki organization, Nagato is the only one whose strength surpasses Hidden Mist Village's capabilities to resist. But Obito won't directly use Nagato's power for revenge against Hidden Mist Village. Compared to revenge, Obito would rather create a perfect world for Rin. Therefore, if I'm targeted by Madara, I'll likely be done for. Being targeted by Obito is more troublesome, but there are still ways to resist. At this point, what I need to do is gain more reputation, forge more ninja tools, enhance the strength of Hidden Mist Village, and at the same time, elevate my own abilities. Soma withdrew his gaze and looked at Ao. Ao-senpai, do you want to give it a try? With that, he handed over the packaged version of the Water Dragon Possession Longsword. Ao paused for a moment. Is this a new ninja tool you crafted, Soma? That's right. Soma nodded. So fast. Soma smiled. This ninja tool I made this time is relatively simpler. This long sword, named Water Dragon Possession, can enhance control over water flow. It also works on other liquids and allow you to manipulate them into various forms. Jozo raised an eyebrow. Similar to my blue rose sword. Jozo developed ice release with his blue rose sword, focusing on shaping ice release. You could say that, Soma said. But water and ice are still different. Water tends to have less destructive power relatively, weaker defense, and lacks the chilling effect of ice. However, Water Dragon Possession has another ability. When controlled using the user's own blood, it will unleash a very strong destructive power. Ao took over the Water Dragon Possession. A voice sounded in Soma's mind. Detected the appearance of a contractee suitable for Water Dragon Possession, liver approval, mid, attribute compatibility, mid, comprehensive compatibility, eligible, shall we proceed with the contract? Just eligible level. Soma frowned. Liver's approval was at a medium level. In Akame Gak *LL, Liver was falsely accused, imprisoned and then saved by his death. Besides extreme admiration for his death, he also developed an intense desire for power. If we consider Ao's experiences in Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, his situation bears some resemblance to Liver's. During the Fourth Shinobi World War, Ao lost his Byakugan and suffered severe injuries. Thanks to Katasuke Tono's assistance, he miraculously survived. Losing his Byakugan, coupled with the deaths of many comrades, left Ao feeling helpless for a while. Soon after, he developed a strong obsession with power. This led him to join the Kara organization. However, his attribute compatibility was only at a medium level. Doesn't this mean that Ao-senpai's talent in water release isn't high? Well, before obtaining the Byakugan, Ao-senpai's identity was that of a sensory ninja. Compared to water release, he's more proficient in sensory ninjutsu. During his time in the Kara organization, it seems that Ao-senpai didn't use water release much. Ao infused chakra into the Water Dragon Possession. Then, he looked towards the nearby sea. In the next moment, a mass of seawater surged towards them, changing shape under Ao's control. However, Ao didn't feel any changes in the Water Dragon Possession. He knew very well what that meant. Soma, here you go. Ao handed the Water Dragon Possession back to Soma. With so many failed attempts at contracting, Ao had almost become accustomed to it. Jozo stood up. I'll go to the Mizuki's building. Soma, you don't need to come. Mizuki-sama already has a contracted Zanpakuto, so there's no need for further contract attempts. They must have arranged for someone else. I will just have those people come to the forging island. Soma nodded. Alright, thanks, Jozo-senpai. Chapter 108, Talent Upgrade. Third Mizukage, upon receiving the news, was delighted. The mood, soured by the failure of the Three Tails plan, had significantly improved. The inexplicable sense of emptiness also received some relief. Soon, the ANBU ninjas compiled a list. At the top was the name of Fugyuki Sukazan. Among the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist who survived, Third Mizukage valued Fugyuki Sukazan the most. In terms of strength, he was stronger than Jozo during the Executioner's Blade period. In terms of mentality, he was much stronger than Jozo and Kurosuke Reiga. Defeated by Konoha Genin, Fugyuki Sukazan did not falter. Even after losing Same Hata, he did not falter compared to Kurosuke Reiga, who the Third Mizukage found disappointing. The remaining few were also outstanding in water release talent. However, none of them were members of the Hojiki clan, known for their superior water release talent in the Hidden Mist Village. Before long, the members on the list arrived at Forging Island. Soma arranged a house near the pier, specifically for accommodating ninjas who would come later to attempt Zanpakuto contracts. Next to it stood a stone tablet. Several words were carved on the stone tablet. The contract house. The name was simple and easy to understand. Jozo and Ao stood on either side of Soma. In front of them was a long table. On the left was a wall, and on the right was a foldable screen. Pushing aside the screen revealed the sea. Abilities could be used against the sea surface to test their effects. This prevented the house from being damaged during testing. Then, Jozo walked towards the door. He pushed it open and stepped out. Several figures outside immediately turned their gaze towards him. Upon seeing Jozo, a hint of envy appeared in their eyes. Then their gaze fell to Jozo's waist, where the blue rose sword hung. Jozo looked around. The few ninjas who came were all outstanding figures in the Hidden Mist village. Among them, Fuyuki Sokazan had been acquainted with Jozo for many years. But to be honest, the relationship between them could only be described as ordinary. Their personalities didn't quite match. Compared to Fuyuki Sokazan, Jozo preferred to interact with Kurosuke Reiga. However, they were still acquaintances, so they nodded to each other in acknowledgement. Next, the person whose name I call will enter one by one. The rest will wait patiently outside. The first one, Fuyuki Sokazan. Fuyuki Sokazan stood up, his huge figure pushing aside two ninjas near the door. One of the Hidden Mist ninjas looked at Fuyuki Sokazan's back with a displeased expression. You got defeated by Konoha Genin first, then even Samehada was taken by the Hojiki clan. What's there to be proud of? Once inside, Fuyuki Sokazan's demeanor immediately changed drastically. Without the same arrogance when facing others. Instead, he appeared much more modest. Chief Uehara. Fuyuki senpai. Soma didn't say much, going straight to the point. Last time, Fuyuki senpai already attempted, so this time, I won't explain much. With that said, Soma took out the water dragon possession and placed it on the table, pushing it forward. This ninjato is called water dragon possession. Fuyuki Sokazan picked up the hilt of the small long sword. A voice resonated in Soma's mind. Detected a candidate compatible with water dragon possession. Liver approval, upper mid, attribute compatibility, upper mid, overall compatibility, good. Would you like to proceed with the contract? Soma's brow twitched slightly. Proceed. Water dragon possession contract successful. Compatibility, good. The abilities of water dragon possession have been amplified to a certain degree. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a good level water release talent. Detection of the host already possessing a perfect level water release talent, beginning talent synthesis. Congratulations to the host for obtaining an ultimate level water release talent. After perfect comes ultimate. I wonder what this ultimate level talent will be like and what changes it will bring me. But the gap between ultimate and perfect should be even greater than that between perfect and good. Soma began to anticipate eagerly. Across from him, Fuyuki Sokazan infused chakra into the small long sword. As the chakra entered the water dragon possession within the hilt, the contract that Soma guided was completed. Fuyuki Sokazan suddenly felt a sense of closeness, as feedback came from the water dragon possession. Fuyuki Sokazan lowered his head, looking at the water dragon possession, his eyes slightly widening. It's somewhat similar to Samehada, giving off a sense of life. But there are also differences. Samehada seems like a living entity with characteristics of a ninjato. While water dragon possession appears to be a ninjato with a life of its own. Fuyuki Sokazan lifted his head, looking at Soma. Chief Uehara, it seems like water dragon possession has acknowledged me. I feel a completely different sensation from last time. Soma nodded, pointing towards the sea beyond the screen that had been pushed aside. Fuyuki-senpai, give it a try. All right. Fuyuki Sokazan looked at the sea surface. Then, he raised the water dragon possession. With no use for hand seals. A surge of water rushed straight up. Continuously changing shape under Fuyuki Sokazan's control. Fuyuki Sokazan's eyes lit up, shining brightly. No need for hand seals, and it can use abilities similar to water release. This is really too powerful. Using it in combination with water release can make the opponent powerless. The consumption of chakra is not much. And, this sword is also very sharp and tough. Much stronger than the ninjatos from the Land of Iron, no, much stronger than the ninjato from the old forging island. In an instant, Fuyuki Sokazan imagined multiple ways of using water dragon possession in battle. Maybe Mizukage-sama was right. Losing Samehada might not be a bad thing for me. Water dragon possession might be more suitable for me than Samehada. Fukyuki Sukazan couldn't wait to go to the battlefield. Facing Konoha ninja. No, it was fighting in front of Hojiki clan ninjas using water dragon possession. You guys snatched my same hata, but now I have a better ninjato than same hata. And you, haven't even found someone suitable to use same hata. In fact, same hata is not weak. It's just that the compatibility between same hata and Fukyuki Sukazan is not that high. Same hata and Fukyuki Sukazan together are only at the level of elite jonin. And among elite jonin, they can't be considered strong. But in the hands of Hoshigaki Kisame, it's completely different. The combined strength of the two is quite astonishing. Even Guy only managed to defeat Hoshigaki Kisame by using the 8 inner gates up to the 7th gate. You should know that Guy's 7th gate state is enough to hold his own against Uchiha Madara. And the 8th gate state is even capable of kicking Madara's ribs. Compared to Do, Guy's 8 inner gates have reached a higher level. Zanpakuto has a formal contracting process. Soma can guide the contract only when the degree of fit is reached. The 7 ninja swords do not have such a requirement. But in fact, there is also a question of compatibility. You can use it without compatibility. But with high compatibility, it can perform better. This is particularly evident with same hata. After all, same hata is the only one among the 7 ninja swords that has self-awareness. Fukyuki-senpai, it seems that water dragon possession indeed recognizes you. Chief Uehara, thank you. Soma chuckled. Fukyuki-senpai, I hope you can develop the abilities of water dragon possession well, defeat more enemies for the hidden mist village, protect the village, and allow water dragon possession to perform well. Chief Uehara, please rest assured, I will definitely not disappoint with water dragon possession. Fukyuki Sukazan tightly gripped the hilt of the sword. In his heart, Fukyuki Sukazan said to himself, I must prove to those damn Hojiki clan members that water dragon possession is stronger than same hata. Fukyuki Sukazan wasn't particularly fond of close combat with opponents. Before obtaining same hata, Fukyuki Sukazan had 2 main methods of fighting. One was water release. The other was transforming his hair into senbon. The former was mostly long range. The latter appears to be a close to medium range attack, but in Fukyuki Sukazan's eyes, this cannot be considered an active attacking style, but rather a defensive counterattack technique. It's not about actively approaching the enemy to use it. Instead, it's about using it when the enemy tries to approach. This way, it will have a better effect. Unlike Kisame. In addition to water release, Kisame is also proficient in close quarters taijutsu. But more importantly, Kisame is extremely *LLED in the chakra absorption technique. When combined with same hata's chakra absorption ability, there is a cumulative effect. This is an advantage that Fukyuki Sukazan doesn't have. For Fukyuki Sukazan, same hata's presence only adds a chakra absorption ability, but it makes his fighting style uncomfortable. Now, with water dragon possession, Fukyuki Sukazan is clearly much more satisfied. It strengthens his water release ability. Being able to coordinate with his hair needle senbon ability to become a long-range menace. Fukyuki, congratulations! Jozo offered his congratulations. Fukyuki Sukazan looked at Jozo and smiled. In the future, we'll both be members of the Shinigami squad. Soma added. Fukyuki-senpai, the water dragon possession can enhance the ability to control liquids, that's one thing, and also, if you control your own blood, you'll get better results. However, the handle of the water dragon possession is relatively weak, so you need to be careful. Fukyuki Sukazan nodded. Okay, I'll be careful, thank you. Controlling one's own blood for attacks can provide additional reinforcement? This surprised Fukyuki Sukazan a bit. Initially, Fukyuki Sukazan was already very satisfied with the water dragon possession. The word blood may sound uncomfortable, but as a seasoned ninja, Fukyuki Sukazan is well aware that getting injured is unavoidable for a ninja. Once injured, there will be blood. Instead of letting the blood drip onto the ground, isn't it better to control the blood and turn it into a weapon? It's not like he intentionally made himself bleed just to use this ability. Instead, after bleeding, he can utilize this ability. Jozo and Fukyuki Sukazan stepped out. The gaze of the ninjas outside immediately turned towards them. Jozo looked around and said, the new Zanpakuto has contracted with Fukyuki Sukazan. You can all go back now. One ninja hesitated for a moment, then complained, we come all the way here, and we're not even given a chance to try. Before they could finish, they were interrupted by their companion pulling them aside. Jozo glanced lightly at the complaining ninja. You need to understand one thing, it's not that Zanpakuto needs you. It's that you need Zanpakuto. Don't get it twisted. That's the rule of the contracting house. If you're not satisfied, you're welcome to never come again. The ninja who was just resentful a moment ago turned pale when he heard Jozo's words. In the Hidden Mist Village, knowledge about Zanpakuto and the Shinigami squad was no longer something only a few knew. Bloodthirsty shark Hoshigaki Kisame, wielding the unhealable blade Kirai Kimonji, surpassed Konoha's genius ninja, Hitaki Kakashi. Biwa Jozo, wielding the ice blade blue rose sword, severely injured the sand hero, Pakura. The clan-destroying Kagaya Nico, wielding the dragon bone, almost wiped out the Kagaya clan overnight. Among these, Kagaya Nico is the negative example. However, it also illustrates the power of Zanpakuto. As ninjas, most are thirsty for power. Moreover, under the influence of the Bloody Mist policy, the ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village naturally possess a strong sense of competition, and competition relies on strength. No ninja from the Hidden Mist Village would not want to further enhance their own abilities. In the current situation, Zanpakuto is a shortcut, a path that can break through one's talent limit. Moreover, with the 7 ninja swords already monopolized by the Hojiki clan, every ninja hopes to gain recognition from a Zanpakuto, hoping to become a member of the Shinigami squad. Fugyuki Sukazan also looked at this ninja. Water Dragon possession chose me, so I cannot let it down. And if you are not satisfied with this result, I am not entitled to decide the ownership of Water Dragon possession, but if you have the guts, challenge me to a fight. How is it? The moment Fugyuki Sukazan contracted with Water Dragon possession, he completely bid farewell to the past. No longer a member of the 7 ninja swords. Instead, he became one of the Shinigami squad members. Immediately, he felt a strong sense of identification with this new identity. Even if Jozo wasn't present, Fugyuki Sukazan would never allow anyone to question Forging Island. Under Fugyuki Sukazan's stern gaze, the ninja lowered his head, daring not to say another word. The ninjas who came to try left one after another. Jozo escorted Fugyuki Sukazan to the pier. By the way, Jozo, before coming, Mizukage-sama asked me to bring you a message. What message? Chapter 109, Ultimate Level Water Release. On the battlefield in the Land of Fire, Konoha has dispatched many more ninjas, and our people on the battlefield have spotted Orochimaru. Jozo, Mizukage-sama hopes that you can quickly help Chief Uehara organize the guard team of the forging department, then head to the Land of Fire battlefield to confront the Konoha ninja. The village needs your strength. Jozo's expression turned serious. I understand. But, Jozo said, my injuries have healed considerably now, and Pakura's injuries in the Hidden Sand Village are probably much better too, so she might go to the battlefield again. With my abilities, we from the Hidden Mist Village might be better equipped to confront Pakura. I might not necessarily be able to go to the Konoha ninja's side. Fugyuki Sukazan nodded. That's true. We'll see when the time comes. Whether it's against the Konoha ninjas or the Hidden Sand ones, the village does need your strength with the blue rose sword. Watching Fugyuki Sukazan leave, Jozo returned to Soma and Ao. Soma, I'm afraid I'll have to head to the battlefield again soon. Mizukage-sama instructed me to help you organize the guard team of Forging Island before I leave. Do you have any thoughts? Soma shook his head. To be honest, I don't have many acquaintances in the village, especially among combat ninjas. In this regard, Jozo-senpai and Ao-senpai are the experts. My only requirement is that this person must be trustworthy. Ao added, considering my current situation, I'm not suitable for the battlefield. Staying in other parts of the village isn't ideal either. I'd rather stay on Forging Island, so count me in for the guard team. Kagaya. Well, maybe we can consider someone from the Kagaya clan. Jozo remembered Kagaya Niko's words from last time. After cleaning up the Kagaya clan, the remaining members of the Kagaya clan are all decent. Moreover, they are currently under pressure from other ninja families in various aspects of the village. Once they are given the opportunity to join Forging Island, they will definitely cherish it. Soma nodded. All right. The guard team of Forging Island was allocated 36 positions by the 3rd Mizukage. Ao occupied one, leaving 35 vacant spots. However, it wasn't necessary to fill all 36 positions in a short time. There were a total of 10 positions for blacksmiths. Soma had only used 2 for now because they didn't need so many at the moment. The consumption of surgical knives by the medical department of the Hidden Mist village wasn't significant unless it was for surgeries performed on ordinary people. Currently, the medical department only used Forging Island's surgical knives for surgeries on ninja. But when it comes to ordinary people, there is a pricing issue. During wartime, ordinary people find it harder to earn money. Fortunately, Hidden Mist village is surrounded by the sea, rich in marine resources, otherwise, even food could become a problem. On the other hand, places like Hidden Sand Village have already encountered this issue. In terms of the guard team, Soma's overall strength has reached the level of a special Jonin. If Pyaja is used, he can reach Jonin level. Coupled with the environment of Hidden Mist Village, the probability of success for Konoha to send ninja to assassinate Soma is extremely low. Soon, a list appeared in Soma's hands. Ao, Hoshigaki Ryakame, Kagaya Satoru, Kagaya Izumi. And 10 ANBU ninja, led by someone named Data. These 10 ANBU ninja have already shed their ANBU identities. Basically, all 10 of them come from civilian ninja backgrounds, so there should be no problem with their backgrounds. Soma didn't change their composition and directly had these 10 individuals operate as a team. Data is the squad captain of the second squad of the guard team. This name surprised Soma slightly. It's just 2 characters, and they're capitalized, which seems a bit out of style for the ninja world. However, Soma recalled that there seems to be a similar name in Konoha, named Yamato. Yamato was initially one of Orochimaru's experiments, the sole survivor of early wood release experiments. He first joined the Anbu after being part of Root and then became an ordinary ninja. The squad captain of the first squad is Ao. Hoshigaki Ryakame, from the Hoshigaki clan, is Kisame's cousin, older but not as talented. Soma felt that the names of the Hoshigaki clan seemed quite distinctive. Kisame. Ryakame. Kagaya Satoru, a young man. Kagaya Izumi, a kunoichi. With this, the guard team of the forging department already has 14 official members. Soma entered the training ground and looked at the translucent panel in front of him. Name, Soma. Comprehensive Strength, Special Jonin. Swordsmanship, SK*LLED, 7300, dot. Body Modification Technique, Familiar, 2000, dot. Abilities, Underwater Breathing. Forging Technique, Very Good, Proficient enhanced by Forging Island, enhanced by God's Hand, dot. Mission Items, Thug Recruitment Token X3. Blacksmith Reputation, 32. Evaluation, as a blacksmith, the foundation is quite good. Because of having one's own forging site, equipment forging, the forging technique is enhanced, and there is a chance to forge ninja tools above the quality level. As a ninja, possessing a certain level of strength, stronger than cannon fodder. Soma casually took out a ninjato and waved it a few times. Kenjutsu is still at the SK*LLED level, but compared to before, it has improved somewhat. It's just that there hasn't been a qualitative change. But at the SK*LLED level, it can still be used in actual combat. Soma withdrew his gaze. Good level talent in Taijutsu. Good level talent in Lightning Release. Ultimate level talent in Water Release. Excellent level talent in Water Release is equivalent to Juzo Senpai's proficiency. Perfect level talent in Water Release surpasses even Juzo Senpai. Water Release ninjutsu is almost mastered upon learning. And with a high affinity for water attribute chakra, it's easy to skip some of the hand seal processes. Soma organized the Water Release ninjutsu he had already learned. Hiding in Mist Jutsu, Water Clone Jutsu, Water Prison Jutsu, Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu, Exploding Water Colliding Wave Jutsu, Water Fang Bullet Jutsu, Water Fang Blade Jutsu, Great Waterfall Jutsu, Water Wall Jutsu, Water Formation Pillar Jutsu. These water release techniques are already sufficient for an average water release ninja, Soma remarked. But for me, they are not enough. With a flick of his wrist, Soma produced a scroll in his hand. Inside were 2 water release ninjutsu. One named Water Whip. It transformed water into the shape of a whip, binding enemies. Additionally, if combined with Lightning Release, it could achieve better results. The other was named Mist Rain. To Soma, this was a highly valuable ninjutsu. It could weaken all ninjutsu and chakra secret techniques except for water release. Regardless of whether it's fire release, lightning release, earth release, wind release, or simple chakra ninjutsu like Raise Nan, or even secret jutsu like Super Beast imitating drawing, they can all be weakened. It can be completely described as the nemesis of ninjutsu. Even ninjutsu from Kekkai Genkai will be effective. For example, Pakura's Scorch Release. There are not many ANBU ninja from the Hidden Mist Village who know Mist Rain, and their strength compared to Pakura is quite different, so they cannot reach the level of countering Pakura. To use Mist Rain to counter Pakura, one must possess stronger basic attributes and stronger chakra than Pakura. Even if they are at the same level, it's not achievable. If this ninjutsu were in the hands of a Jinchuriki, it should have a strong effect. Because in terms of chakra quantity, a Jinchuriki who can extract tailed beast chakra is much stronger than other ninjas. In addition to that, ninjas like the Uzumaki clan, who possess a huge amount of chakra, are also suitable. In the Hidden Mist Village, only the Kagaya clan's chakra quantity can be considered outstanding. This can be seen from the original plot, as demonstrated by Kimimura's performance. During the encounter with Gaara, Kimimura's creation of the Bone Forest, while not on the scale of Senju Hashirama's Nativity of a World of Trees, was still impressive. Members of the Kagaya clan who haven't awakened Shikatsumayako have less chakra than those who have. However, they are still much stronger than the average ninja. A figure appeared in front of Soma. Chief Uehara. Squad Captain Data. Chief Uehara, shall I start explaining these two water release ninjutsu now? Go ahead. Yes. Data began to explain earnestly. However, because he wasn't a professional instructor type of ninja, Data's explanation wasn't particularly good. If it weren't for Soma, but rather another water release ninja, they might have found it all rather confusing. Soma, besides possessing an ultimate level water release talent, also has a deep understanding of water release itself. In no time, Data finished his explanation. As Soma recalled Data's explanation and opened the ninjutsu scroll to observe, combining it with his existing knowledge of water release, he quickly grasped his own understanding of these two water release ninjutsu. In the next moment, he formed the hand seals. Water release, water whip jutsu. As soon as the seals were completed, a whip formed from condensed water appeared in Soma's hand. The water was densely condensed, constantly flowing and rotating. Soma swung the whip in his hand. Snap! The target in front of him immediately suffered a heavy blow. It exploded entirely. The power is not bad. Data watched Soma's actions with wide eyes. Earlier, Data had already understood that Soma's water release talent was formidable. Previously, among the ANBU ninja sent by the 3rd Mizukage to protect Forging Island, Data was one of them. However, Data did not expect Soma's water release talent to be so strong. Learning in an instant. The difficulty of the water whip jutsu within water release is not low. It requires strong and continuous control over water release chakra. That's not all. When Soma first used the water whip jutsu, Data noticed that it was clearly different from what a normal ANBU ninja would use, much stronger in intensity. Same hand seals, same chakra. Still, it was the first time it was used. Data found this somewhat unreasonable. This was because Data hadn't seen the comparison between Senju Hashirama and Yamato. With the same wood release, the effects produced by Yamato and Senju Hashirama were like night and day. So, Soma's current performance wasn't excessive. With a thought, Soma made the water whip disappear. Following that, he formed hand seals again. Fire release, Crimson Earth Spider. A huge spider formed from flames appeared. Since Soma didn't set a target, the fiery spider just remained stationary. Water release, Mist Rain. Suddenly, rain fell. The range wasn't large, just enough to envelop the Crimson Earth Spider. As the rain fell, the Crimson Earth Spider's form shrank at a visible speed, and the flames on its body extinguished just as quickly, soon disappearing entirely. The ability of Mist Rain is indeed remarkable. It's not just about extinguishing flames with water attributes. It's about chakra interference. It can target anything other than water release. Soma calculated for a moment. However, it consumes quite a bit of chakra, and it can be dodged. Soma looked at Data. Data, thank you for your help. I can handle it from here. You can go about your own business now. Yes, Chief. After Data left, Soma began comparing the water release techniques he had already mastered. Using ninjutsu feels a bit easier now. Under the same chakra consumption, the power seems to be greater than before. This proves that the conversion efficiency has increased. Also, it seems that the upper limit of water release ninjutsu in my hands has increased. The power of ninjutsu is not entirely fixed. When not mastered to the SK*LLED level, it's certainly not as effective as when it is. But once it's SK*LLED, the power of the same ninjutsu is more or less consistent. However, Soma found that the water release techniques in his hands could actually break through this supposed fixed upper limit. This is the ultimate level water release talent, isn't it? Higher conversion efficiency. Simpler hand seals. Stronger power. For some water release techniques, I might even be able to condense it down to just one hand seal. Soma raised an eyebrow slightly. Isn't this like Senju Hashirama's clap hands, get whatever you want? Fugyuki-senpai has already gone to the Land of Fire battlefield. If all goes well, he'll bring me quite a bit of reputation soon. During this time waiting for my reputation to rise, I can practice water release. Regarding the water release techniques I've already learned, I'll try to reduce the number of hand seals required as much as possible. This way, I can improve my overall strength. Land of Fire. A Hyuga clan ninja quickly approached Orochimaru. Orochimaru-sama, there's a situation ahead. What's the situation? I saw traces of the Hidden Mist Village ninja not far ahead, suspected to be a team led by Yagura Karitachi from the Hidden Mist Village. Yagura Karitachi. Orochimaru's eyes flickered. Pass on my orders, ambush. Chapter 110, Water Dragon Possession vs Orochimaru. Orochimaru is familiar with Yagura Karitachi. When the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist from the Hidden Mist Village suffered a disastrous defeat, Yagura Karitachi stepped forward and supported the front line. He wasn't a bloodline ninja and had no ninjato in hand. But Yagura Karitachi's strength is quite good. Especially his ninjutsu called Water Release, Water Mirror Jutsu. Creating a mirror with water. Afterward, within this mirror, an imitation replica of the opponent will appear that looks exactly like the enemy, and even ninjutsu can be completely replicated. In the original plot, Yagura Karitachi used Water Mirror Jutsu to even replicate Naruto's Nine Tails Chakra mode. It's imaginable that ordinary Kekii Genkai can also be replicated. However, using this ninjutsu is quite demanding. Firstly, you have to aim at the target. Secondly, you need a sufficient amount of chakra, or else when the opponent uses a ninjutsu that consumes a large amount of chakra, the person using Water Mirror Jutsu will be drained. Kisame gained a good reputation by gaining the advantage in several consecutive battles against Kakashi. The title of Bloodthirsty Shark is among the forefront of young ninjas. But in Orochimaru's view, it will be a long time before the ninja world falls into the hands of these young ninjas. Currently, those who control this ninja world are still the middle-aged and older generation, like the Sunin. Further down the line are those like Minato. The Hidden Mist Village is the same. Orochimaru doesn't care much about young ninjas like Kisame. What he truly cares about in the Hidden Mist Village are Yagura Karitachi and Biwajozo, who have returned to the battlefield. If Yagura Karitachi can BK*LLED, it would be a severe blow to the Hidden Mist Village. The village would lose a top ninja capable of standing on the battlefield. Biwajozo ultimately relies on his ninjato. Orochimaru doesn't reject ninjato. However, for Jozo, Orochimaru believes that what's more important is the Blue Rose Sword, not Jozo himself. But, Orochimaru-sama, wouldn't it be hasty to make such a decision? The Hyuga ninja hesitated. After all, encountering Yagura Karitachi and his team was entirely unexpected. The Konoha ninja army had not previously planned to attack Yagura Karitachi. Are you questioning my judgment? No, of course not. I am the overall commander of this front line. I have the final say, and I bear all responsibility. Pass on the orders. Yes, Orochimaru-sama. Soon, the ninjas below all received the command. Orochimaru looked ahead and licked his lips. At first, Orochimaru had little interest in the position of Hokage. However, after the scale of his experiments expanded and more resources were needed, as well as after seeing the situation in the village, Orochimaru decided to pursue the position of Hokage. Moreover, he gained support from Danzo. Orochimaru initially thought that his competitor would be Jiraiya. However, Jiraiya had no desire to become Hokage. Instead, Jiraiya threw all his support behind his disciple, Minato. In this situation, Orochimaru's competitor became Minato. Both had their advantages. Orochimaru's experience outweighed Minato's, but Minato's reputation had gradually surpassed Orochimaru's. Orochimaru hadn't personally intervened in a long time, causing Konoha's ninjas to acknowledge his strength but lose a clear understanding due to the lack of recent achievements, In contrast, Minato's clashes with the fourth Raikage and the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails sparked countless discussions among ninjas. His Flying Thunder God Jutsu alone had claimed numerous enemy heads on the battlefield. For a ninja, the best way to gain fame was to defeat an opponent with a decent reputation. Yagura, in Orochimaru's view, was indeed a good target. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! The sudden appearance of Konoha ninjas caught the Hidden Mist Village ninjas off guard. At the first encounter, over a dozen Hidden Mist Village ninjas were K***LLED. Yagura's face darkened. Water release, Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu. A water dragon soared into the sky, reaching high above, then plunged fiercely towards the Konoha ninjas across from them. In addition to the impact force of the ninjutsu itself, it also carried the added force of gravity. However, just as Yagura's Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu was about to hit its target. Summoning Jutsu. A massive python appeared, earthy brown in color, not as large as Manda, but still terrifying compared to humans. It could easily swallow an adult whole. The giant snake raised its head high. Orochimaru's figure stood atop the snake's head. Wind release, Great Breakthrough Jutsu. A strong wind gushed out from Orochimaru's mouth. Boom! It collided with the water dragon plunging down from above. Both ninjutsu dispersed. The water dragon shattered into countless droplets, falling downward. Orochimaru. Yagura's expression turned ugly. Orochimaru understood Yagura and Yagura understood Orochimaru as well. Konoha's three Sunin, in the Second Great Ninja War, already possessed formidable strength. Moreover, it wasn't just strength, their experience, *LLS, including strategy, were all top-notch. The Sunin were already formidable opponents. Among the three Sunin, Orochimaru was the most fearsome. Yagura would rather fight Jiraiya than Orochimaru because no one knew what methods Orochimaru would employ. Of course, this was when Yagura wasn't aware of Jiraiya's sage mode prowess. Yagura Karatachi. Orochimaru glanced indifferently at Yagura. Let's fight. The great battle was about to begin. The Mist Village ninjas and Konoha ninjas around had already engaged in combat. Water release, Water Mirror Jutsu. Yagura raised his hand, unleashing his signature ninjutsu. However, Orochimaru had already anticipated this. Before Yagura could use Water Mirror Jutsu, Orochimaru disappeared from his sight, leaving only the giant snake summoned by Orochimaru within the range of Yagura's technique. The two snakes engaged in a fierce battle. Orochimaru's figure moved to the side. Many hidden shadow snake hands. Several snakes instantly appeared on Orochimaru's arms, their gaping mouths ready to bite Yagura. At this moment, Yagura had just expended a considerable amount of chakra using Water Mirror Jutsu, affecting even his ability to move. This was Orochimaru's deliberate design. Orochimaru knows about Yagura's Water Mirror Jutsu. Even with Orochimaru's strength and experience, he has to admit that Water Mirror Jutsu is a formidable ninjutsu. Therefore, even though Orochimaru can summon a large snake, he chose not to summon Manda because Yagura wouldn't dare to use Water Mirror Jutsu against him if Manda were present, knowing he couldn't handle the required amount of chakra. Present-day Yagura is not a Jinchuriki, but a large snake is a different matter. Orochimaru set himself as bait, trapping Yagura. By causing the large snake to deplete Yagura's chakra significantly, Orochimaru gains an opportunity to attack Yagura. Yagura tried hard to evade, but one snake still managed to bite his arm. Yagura forcefully breaks free, but his arm was seriously injured, and he noticed that the blood dripping from the wound is not the usual color, it's dark and blackish. Poison! Yagura's expression turned even more grim. Orochimaru smiled faintly, not seeing any issue with what he had done. Ninjas, after all, were just a group of individuals who would stop at nothing to accomplish their missions. To achieve victory, any means were fair game. Orochimaru didn't think that in a direct confrontation, he wasn't a match for Yagura. He simply believed that this strategy was more cost-effective. There was already a certain gap in their strengths to begin with. As a result, Orochimaru's initial plan proved effective. This led to Yagura always being at a disadvantage, and as time passed, the disadvantage grew even larger. Orochimaru didn't give Yagura any chance. Enough, it's time to end this. You're tougher than I anticipated. To endure to such an extent despite being injured. It's no wonder you're one of the few ninjas in the Hidden Mist Village who can stand out. Orochimaru lowered his head and glanced at himself. Besides consuming a large amount of my chakra, you also injured me. Yagura's face turned dark. Orochimaru looked at Yagura, who had already been forced into a corner of the battlefield by him and seemed to be on the verge of collapse, and took out a giant shuriken. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. In the next moment, Orochimaru threw the shuriken. In midair. Boom. 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 The shuriken proliferated rapidly. It was like Naruto using the multiple shadow clone jutsu. No, there were even more. Hundreds, no, thousands of shuriken, densely packed, blocking out the sky, almost obscuring all the light, turning the clear sky above Yagura into a cloudy one in an instant. Yagura held one injured arm with the other. Looking up, he saw the countless shuriken coming at him. Orochimaru. So, this is what it means to be a Sunin. Once you are given a chance, there's no possibility of turning the tables. Yagura deeply regretted how easily he had used the water mirror jutsu. It was from there that the outcome of this battle was decided. If I hadn't rushed to use the water mirror jutsu, maybe I still wouldn't be Orochimaru's match, but I wouldn't have lost so quickly. Even though I knew Orochimaru had information about the water mirror jutsu. Nearby Hidden Mist Ninja saw the situation. Uehara Soma. Some Hidden Mist Ninja wanted to support Yagura. However, firstly, they were also being held back by other Konoha ninja. Secondly, even if they supported him, they couldn't stop Orochimaru's attacks. They were too weak. Could it be that I'm going to die here? But if I die, who in the Hidden Mist village can withstand these Konoha ninja? Yagura gritted his teeth, desperately thinking of a strategy. Just then, a figure darted in. Water release, water wall jutsu. A wall constructed of water stood in front of Yagura. Countless shuriken fell. Puff. 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 However, they were all firmly blocked by the water wall. Even if some shuriken managed to break through, they had lost all their force, unable to cause any harm and simply falling to the ground weakly. Yagura-senpai. In terms of age, Yagura Karitachi was slightly older than Fukyuki Sukazan, but not by much. Yagura Karitaka's grandson, Karitachi Kagura, is slightly older than Naruto's son, Boruto, so Yagura Karitaka's age is likely a bit older than Minato's. But Fukyuki Sukazan also addressed him as senpai. Because Yagura's strength and contribution to the village were evident. Fukyuki. Yagura was stunned. It wasn't surprising that Fukyuki Sukazan appeared here, what was surprising was how strong Fukyuki's water release had become. Could it be that the existence of Same Hada was a burden to Fukyuki? Did losing Same Hada made Fukyuki even stronger? Orochimaru frowned. Fukyuki Sukazan. One of the surviving members of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. The owner of Same Hada. A Hyuga ninja quickly approached Orochimaru. Orochimaru-sama, the ninjato in Fukyuki Sukazan's hand is somewhat special, but it's not Same Hada. We received information earlier that Same Hada in his possession has been taken by the Hojiki clan. Orochimaru's gaze shifted to the water dragon possession in Fukyuki Sukazan's hand. A speculation lingered in Orochimaru's mind. Could it be another new ninjato? Zanpakuto. Fukyuki Sukazan sensed Orochimaru's gaze and looked at the Hyuga ninja next to Orochimaru. These Hyuga clan ninja are really disgusting. I originally planned to conceal the existence of the water dragon possession, let the people of Konoha suffer a bit first. The Kagaya clan's matter also erupted because of the Hyuga clan. I really want to K*LL all these Hyuga dogs. The Mist Ninja's aversion to the Hyuga clan ninja can be said to exceed that of any other ninja in Konoha. The presence of the Byakugan greatly restricts the Mist army. And the matter of the Kagaya clan is not a secret to elite ninja like Fukyuki Sukazan. After all, there were quite a few ANBU ninja involved that day. Therefore, there is even more aversion towards the Hyuga clan. Fukyuki, this sword. Yagura also noticed Orochimaru's gaze. Yagura-senpai, this sword is called Water Dragon Possession, it is indeed a Zanpakuto. It can enhance my ability to control water. Fukyuki lowered his voice, explaining briefly. Yagura suddenly realized, Yagura-senpai, next, let's deal with Orochimaru together. Good. The interrupted battle resumed once again. But this time, the situation was different. Yagura-senpai, I'll attack first, you use this time to recover. As Fukyuki's words fell, he raised the sword in his hand. Water release, water dragon bullet jutsu. But it wasn't just one, it was two. They rushed towards Orochimaru from two different directions. Compared to the ordinary water dragon bullet jutsu, the water dragons summoned by Fukyuki were more condensed. Orochimaru's eyes flickered with speculation. One hand seal, 2 water dragon bullets. Is this the ability of that Zanpakuto? Does it replicate ninjutsu? Hidden Mist Village has produced another new Zanpakuto. Chapter 111, What is the ability of this Zanpakuto? Orochimaru's expression became serious. But it was not because he was wary of Fukiki's strength. It was because of the appearance of the water dragon possession. In such a short time, another new Zanpakuto has appeared. Counting the time, it's been less than a year. Kirei Kimonji, Blue Rose Sword, Dragon Bone, and now this one. Since when has it become so easy to forge such high-level ninjato? In the future, how many more can that blacksmith create? If there are dozens, which ninja village can stand against Hidden Mist Village? Jiraiya, Minato, probably wouldn't be enough. The number of Shinigami squad members will be much greater. Orochimaru's eyes flickered. At that time, if Konoha wants to fight against Hidden Mist Village, I'm afraid only my experiments will suffice. If I could get a Zanpakuto to study, that would be great. Orochimaru looked at the water dragon possession in Fukiki's hand. Earth substitution. As the 2 water dragons were about to hit Orochimaru, he used substitution jutsu. In his previous position, there was now an earth clone. Orochimaru's figure appeared elsewhere. The earth clone shattered under the impact of the water dragon bullet. However, Orochimaru noticed that the water dragon bullet jutsu, which should have dissipated after one impact, reformed on the ground. Caught off guard, Orochimaru tried to respond but it was too late. Bang! The water dragon's impact sent Orochimaru flying. Meanwhile, the giant snake summoned by Orochimaru was severely injured by Yagura's water mirror jutsu. With a burst of white smoke, it disappeared and returned to Ryokai Cave. It's not just replication. Orochimaru quickly got up from the ground. Several snakes fell limply from his chest and back. At the critical moment, Orochimaru summoned several snakes to cushion himself. Most of the impact force was borne by the snakes, so Orochimaru himself didn't suffer much. What a pity! Seeing Orochimaru stand up unscathed, Fukiki felt a bit disappointed. He had hoped to catch Orochimaru off guard with the ability of the water dragon possession, exploiting Orochimaru's lack of information. But Orochimaru's response was too quick and too effective. This is the Sunin. Yagura said, in terms of experience, they are much more seasoned than us. Fukiki, don't be affected. I'm almost done on my side, and I'll cooperate with you. Understood, Yagura-senpai. Fukiki swung the water dragon possession. In the next moment, the reformed water dragon charged towards Orochimaru once again. Although Fukiki had not had the water dragon possession for long, he had already figured out 3 ways to use it. One method is to directly control water and attack using the manipulation of water flow, similar to how Liver uses it in the world of Akame Gak*LL. The other method is like the current one. First, form hand seals to use water release ninjutsu. Before all the water from the water release ninjutsu dissipates, use the power of the water dragon possession to control this part of the water, combining it with the residual chakra in the water release ninjutsu. This way, the water release ninjutsu can be revived, eliminating the need to form hand seals again. The former method is convenient to use, while the latter can be more powerful because it essentially combines the power of ninjutsu and the water dragon possession. The third method, which Orochimaru discovered, involves using the power of the water dragon possession to replicate the water release ninjutsu while forming hand seals for it. That Zanpakuto can not only replicate ninjutsu but also reuse it. Orochimaru fought while retreating. I wonder if it is limited to water release. If not, the ability of this ninjato is too powerful. It essentially turns subsequent ninjutsu into no-seal ninjutsu. Without the time needed for hand seals, attack efficiency will greatly increase. It leaves the opponent with insufficient reaction time. Even if it only works for water release, it's still extremely impressive for the ninjas of Hidden Mist Village. Compared to enhancement-type abilities, Orochimaru prefers functional abilities because, in his view, functional abilities offer greater possibilities and operability. Fukiki also believes that the water dragon possession is stronger than Samehada, but for a different reason. Fukiki simply feels that the ability of the water dragon possession is more compatible with himself. Despite Orochimaru blocking the recent attack, Fukiki was only momentarily disappointed and quickly became excited again, eager to continue his assault. Making a distinguished member of the 3 Sunin like Orochimaru suffer a minor setback was almost unthinkable before. With Samehada in hand, Fukiki was inferior to Orochimaru in every aspect. Fugyuki couldn't help but think, same hata is far inferior to the water dragon possession. At the same time, Fugyuki imagined various ways to use the water dragon possession. Facing Orochimaru now, Fugyuki wanted to try all of them. Orochimaru is very strong, but the stronger the opponent, the better the test of the ability's effectiveness. Being defeated by a Konoha Genin is a disgrace to our 7 ninja swordsmen. But if Uehara-senpai and I can defeat Orochimaru, this disgrace can be instantly washed away. No one can disrespect someone who has defeated Orochimaru. Fugyuki harbored a touch of ambition in his heart. Even if I defeat Orochimaru with Uehara-senpai's help, it's still a huge achievement, especially since before I arrived, Uehara-senpai had already been defeated and was at a great disadvantage. Everyone will know my contribution. Under Fugyuki's control, 2 water dragons launched a fierce attack on Orochimaru. Meanwhile, Uehara was also attacking Orochimaru with ninja tools and long-range water release ninjutsu. For a moment, Orochimaru seemed to be at a disadvantage, unable to attack and forced to either dodge or block. The hidden mist ninjas watching cheered up. Great! Orochimaru is going to lose. Fugyuki-senpai's strength is incredible now. Even without same hata, his strength hasn't decreased, it's increased. Is this the change the new Zanpakuto has brought to Fugyuki-senpai? Fugyuki-senpai and Uehara-senpai together will surely defeat Orochimaru. A hidden mist ninja couldn't help but shout excitedly. K*LL Orochimaru, and Hidden Mist Village will surely win. Orochimaru's expression darkened. The ability of this Zanpakuto is indeed troublesome. Even if I shatter these water dragons, they can revive and reappear. Combined with Uehara, it's no longer possible to easily defeat them. Fine, then I'll crush them head-on. After dodging Fugyuki and Uehara's attacks once again, Orochimaru bit his finger and formed hand seals. Summoning Jutsu. Using the summoning jutsu again, this time was different from the last. A much larger snake appeared, its entire body a deep purple, its scales gleaming with a cold light. A strong stench filled the air, mixed with the smell of blood. Manda. The Konoha ninjas showed expressions of joy. All right, the suspense is over. Orochimaru-sama even summoned Manda. The outcome is no longer in doubt. Uehara and Fugyuki cannot possibly win. Orochimaru-sama will surely be victorious. You hidden mist ninjas can only be happy for just a moment. So what if a new Zanpakuto appeared? It's just a mere ninjato. Do you really think you can defeat Orochimaru-sama with just a ninjato? Dream on. Manda raised its head. Orochimaru, you still owe me a sacrifice from last time. Manda had a violent temper and even towards Orochimaru, its attitude wasn't much better. It could be said that among the Sunin, Orochimaru had the worst relationship with his summon beast. These people can all be your sacrifices. Orochimaru pointed towards the hidden mist ninjas across from them. Manda extended its tongue and flicked it in the air. More hidden mist village ninjas, hey! In the next moment, Manda charged fiercely towards Uehara and Fugyuki. With its huge size advantage, immense strength and powerful defense, Manda didn't need to worry much. It simply used its own body as a weapon. Water release, water wall jutsu. Fugyuki and Uehara simultaneously formed hand seals. Boom! Manda crashed into the 2 water walls. Countless water droplets splashed everywhere in an instant, like a sudden downpour. Uehara and Fugyuki took advantage of this opportunity to create distance. Manda shook its head and revealed a cruel smile. Warm-up's over. It charged towards Uehara and Fugyuki once again. Along the way, its tail whipped sideways, sending 2 or 3 hidden mist ninjas flying. In an instant, the situation reversed. Manda's attacks were relentless. Furthermore, Uehara and Fugyuki had no effective means to deal with Manda. Apart from their own formidable abilities, summon beasts were also a significant factor in the Sunin's prowess. Such large summon beasts were rare in the entire shinobi world. There were only a few places in the shinobi world where summon beasts lived, and these places could be considered sacred. Even fewer had mastered senjutsu. Yet, Konoha had established connections with all 3 of these summon beast sanctuaries. To other ninja villages, this was considered Konoha's luck. Water release, water fang bullet jutsu. Fugyuki formed hand seals and raised the water dragon possession. Around him, numerous water-based spears condensed, not 1 or 2 but a whole array of them, numbering in the hundreds, forming a wall-like structure. Go! Facing such attacks, even Manda chose to evade their sharpness. However, Fugyuki's use of such attacks also caused significant depletion of his own chakra. Hiss! Manda looked towards Fugyuki, its eyes becoming sharp. Damn hidden mist ninja, how dare you injure me! Most of the water spears were either dodged by Manda or blocked, but there were still a few that hit Manda. Under high-speed rotation, Manda's weak spots in its scales couldn't withstand the impact. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. Can it even shatter Manda's scales? This is definitely not a simple water fang bullet jutsu. So, that Zanpakuto even enhances the power of water release ninjutsu. Unlike the previous water dragon bullet, which was intentionally not enhanced. A completely pointless concealment. Orochimaru shook his head. Fugyuki, such a Zanpakuto in your hands is a complete waste. Manda was furious. Seeking death. As Manda's enormous form pressed heavily onto the ground, the earth trembled. And then, suddenly, Fugyuki felt an unusual sensation beneath his feet. He quickly dodged aside and saw a sharp object thrusting out from underground, gleaming with a chilling light. It was Manda's tail. A miss with the first strike was followed by another. Just as Fugyuki's feet touched the ground, he saw a red forked tongue coming towards him. At that moment, Fugyuki had no way to dodge and could only use water dragon possession to block in front of him. Bang! The immense force struck Fugyuki. However, at the same time, Manda's tongue also felt the pain and quickly withdrew. Orochimaru saw Manda injured but wasn't concerned at all. With Manda's size, such injuries were like a human being bitten by a mosquito, having little impact. Only Fugyuki alone can't hold off Manda. As for Yagura. Suddenly, Orochimaru felt something amiss with Yagura beside Fugyuki. Water clone. Where is Yagura's real body? Just then. Water release, water mirror jutsu. Yagura felt chakra rapidly draining from his body. In the next moment, a mirror appeared. Orochimaru's figure was reflected in the mirror. Then, an identical figure to Orochimaru emerged from the mirror. Finally, found an opportunity. Yagura sighed in relief seeing the successful water mirror jutsu. This time, there are no Hyuga ninja by your side, Orochimaru. No Hyuga ninja nearby, that's one thing. More importantly, Orochimaru's attention was drawn to Fugyuki. Precisely, to the water dragon possession in Fugyuki's hand. The passion for research is both Orochimaru's strength and weakness, allowing him to achieve so much and truly earn the title of the ninja world's great scientist. Yet, at the same time, it's also a flaw. In battle, seeing the capabilities of water dragon possession made him unable to resist thoughts of research. Hence, it gave Yagura this opportunity. Not noticing Yagura's covered use of water clone jutsu, a flaw was exposed. When water mirror jutsu was successfully used against Orochimaru, it meant that regardless of what ninjutsu or moves Orochimaru used thereafter, the replicas created by water mirror jutsu would respond in the same way. Orochimaru would be firmly restrained. Meanwhile, Yagura could join Fugyuki in facing Manda. Orochimaru furrowed his brow. It's because I haven't engaged in intense combat for too long, always taking on leadership roles. Suddenly, I feel somewhat unaccustomed, leading to such a glaring mistake. This is my fault. But do you two think you can defeat Manda? You two aren't enough. Fugyuki, who was knocked back, landed heavily on the ground. As Manda prepared to attack Fugyuki again, Yagura's support couldn't arrive in time. Fugyuki! Yagura shouted in concern. Suddenly, a figure appeared, standing in front of Fugyuki. If the two of them aren't enough, then how about adding me to the mix? Chapter 112, Deadly Blood Blades. Blue Rose Ice Release, 10 long spears. 10 huge spears, formed from ice, appeared. The power of Blue Rose Ice Release is greater than Fugyuki's Water Fang Bullet. Go! Immediately after. Blue Rose Ice Release, Entanglement. Biwachozo's appearance blocked Manda's charge. Fugyuki quickly got up from the ground. Chozo, thanks. Yagura breathed a sigh of relief. Orochimaru fought against his own clone while keeping an eye on Manda. The ice spears hit and the powerful impact shattered Manda's scales. And the freezing sensation displeased Manda greatly. Meanwhile, the ice rose entanglement reached Manda's body, its thorns and tendrils penetrating the gaps in Manda's scales. Another one. The change in situation irritated Manda. Orochimaru, this isn't what we agreed on. I will double the offerings. Orochimaru knew Manda's temperament, so in this situation, he didn't want to waste time talking and gave Manda what it wanted. Manda snorted coldly. His gaze shifted back to Fukyuki and Jozo. Humph. Just a couple of mist village ninjas. What difference does one more make? Do you think you're my match now? Manda opened his massive mouth and roared angrily ahead. A foul stench, tinged with decay, swept forward. Jozo, let me handle this. Water release, Great Waterfall Jutsu. Fukyuki raised his water dragon possession high. Using water dragon possession allowed him to utilize existing water, saving a significant amount of chakra during ninjutsu. To Fukyuki, this was much more useful than Samehada. Samehada required getting close to absorb chakra, whereas water dragon possession saved his chakra consumption directly. Fukyuki felt Samehada was more passive. A powerful stream of water spewed forth from Fukyuki's mouth, heading straight towards Manda. The water crashed heavily down. Meanwhile, Yagura formed hand seals. Water release, exploding water colliding wave jutsu. Both of them used large-scale water release techniques. With such a volume of water and force of impact, they believed even Manda couldn't easily withstand it. Moreover, this was just the prelude. Jozo raised the Blue Rose sword. Blue Rose ice release, ice cone field. He directly used the water created by Fukyuki and Yagura, turning it into ice. Sharp ice spikes emerged on the ground and they were extremely sharp. The area within a radius of several hundred meters was completely transformed into rows of ice cones. Similar to the original plot where Kimimaro, facing Gaara, used the bone forest, it was extremely similar. Pucci! 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 Under such attacks, Manda's scales couldn't fully defend, and its huge body couldn't completely evade. Several wounds suddenly appeared on Manda's body. The power of the cold made Manda drowsy, as if wanting to hibernate. But Manda was well aware that at this moment, it absolutely couldn't lower its responsiveness. It forcibly moved despite its wounds. Hiss! Using intense pain to stimulate its reactions. A large amount of blood flowed out, staining the ice spikes red on the icy surface. In this battlefield, it appeared particularly enchanting. Like shining red crystals. Orochimaru's expression changed again. Unlike before, this time Orochimaru wasn't so confident. Jozo's appearance supplemented the lack of attack from Fukyuki and Yagura. Moreover, ice release had a natural restraining effect on snake-like creatures. 1 Yagura, plus 2 Zanpakuto. Orochimaru's expression became somewhat serious. The abilities of these three people complement each other. Water mirror jutsu is also troublesome, Orochimaru thought to himself. Could it be that I'll really lose? Yagura isn't weak, Jozo isn't weak, and neither is Fukyuki. And Orochimaru, who hasn't been improving his combat abilities for a long time, has been focusing on research, his energy is scattered, and facing Yagura's trio, he really lacks confidence. Konoha ninjas seeing Manda injured couldn't help but panic. Did they really injure Manda so severely? Is Biwajozo that strong? Are the rumors true that Biwajozo repelled the sand hero Yagura? Could it be that Orochimaru-sama will lose? Orochimaru heard the nearby discussions of the Konoha ninja and glanced over. Lose. It's just that I don't have complete confidence in winning. K*ling Manda is not an easy task. Suddenly. Crack. The ground split open. A huge figure emerged from the soil, directly lunging towards Jozo with its mouth wide open. Jozo! Yagura and Fukyuki shouted loudly, but it was already too late. Jozo had already been bitten by Manda. What Manda hated the most was Fukyuki, but what it feared the most was Jozo. Therefore, it decided to deal with Jozo first. With a bite, Manda revealed a smile. But suddenly, it felt its mouth becoming extremely cold. At the critical moment, Jozo used an ice-freezing jutsu on himself, freezing his entire body. He had used this technique before when facing Pakura. Now, for Jozo, it was the best defensive method. Not only did he freeze himself, but he also created sharp spikes around the ice block. This made it impossible for Manda to crush or even swallow the ice block. But the people outside couldn't see it. The hidden mist ninjas immediately became worried. Jozo-sama. Jozo-sama was swallowed by Manda. Is Jozo-sama okay? Yagura and Fukyuki glanced at each other. Water release, Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu. Meanwhile, Fukyuki used Water Dragon Possession to control the water scattered on the ice block, mixed with Manda's blood, turning it into controllable, rapidly spinning currents. Konoha's ninjas cheered excitedly. Biwajozo is dead. Konoha will win. Even Orochimaru, along with them, relaxed a bit. At this moment, everyone also saw what Manda had done. But when Yagura and the others launched their strongest attacks, Manda chose to molt, leaving its outer skin on the ground, and its own figure submerged into the ground. In this way, it evaded the strongest attacks of Yagura and the other two. At the same time, it created an opportunity for a sneak attack. Regardless of Manda's temperament, in terms of intelligence, it was indeed not inferior to humans. Voluntary molting. Manda has this ability. Fugyuki and Yagura's attacks fell, but without Jozo, their combined attack wasn't enough to inflict substantial damage on Manda, making it difficult. Fugyuki gritted his teeth. He slashed his palm using Water Dragon Possession. Fugyuki. Fugyuki looked at Yagura and explained, this is another ability of Water Dragon Possession. Blood flowed out. In front of Fugyuki, it gathered and formed. Different from water. When controlling water, Fugyuki could only maintain it as a flow, either increasing its cohesion or making its rotation speed faster. But by controlling the blood in front of him, it could transform into a blade-like existence. Deadly blood blades. After such intense battles and the loss of so much blood, Fugyuki's condition became extremely poor. Even his breath became weak. However, the deadly blood blade controlled by Fugyuki emitted an extremely dangerous aura. Orochimaru and Manda both sensed it. What is that? Go. Fugyuki pointed towards Manda. The blood blades instantly approached. Ding! 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 Continuously stabbing towards Manda. Orochimaru's eyes flickered. Turning blood into blades. Is it a secret jutsu? Or is it the ability of that Zanpakuto? With Jozo in its mouth and facing the attack of Fugyuki's deadly blood blades, Manda felt annoyed. Its earlier voluntary molting was also a considerable burden for Manda. Damn it! These mist ninjas are really troublesome. None of them are strong individually, but when they come together, it really annoys me. I'll swallow all of you. With the appearance of the deadly blood blades, the momentum of the mist ninja's side rose again. Fugyuki-senpai is too strong. He actually suppressed Manda. That's Manda we're talking about. Using blood as a blade. This is the power of Fugyuki-senpai with Zanpakuto. This is Zanpakuto. This is the Shinigami squad. Attack. Orochimaru squinted. At this rate, it will be a mutually destructive outcome. Fugyuki Sukazan, Yagura Karitachi and Biwa Jozo are heavily injured in exchange for Manda getting heavily injured. But, that's fine. Orochimaru didn't care at all about Manda's injury. Manda regarded Orochimaru's summoning as a business deal, so naturally Orochimaru wouldn't care about Manda's life either. That's settled then. With Manda heavily injured, I'll trade it for K*ling Yagura Karitachi and the other two. This is a profitable deal. Orochimaru calculated in his mind. However, no one noticed that at this moment, a figure quietly approached Manda from behind. A young man. By the time Kisame came to support, Jozo had already been swallowed by Manda. After observing the situation around him, Kisame didn't act recklessly. Instead, he made a plan based on the situation at the scene. He first quietly approached Manda and found several points on Manda's body that were already injured. Once he confirmed them. Puchi. He fiercely stabbed Kirito into one of the wounds. Then, chakra absorption technique. While absorbing chakra from Manda's body, he ran at a very fast speed along the wounds on Manda's body, connecting them into a line. Enduring severe pain, Manda suddenly turned around. You little brat! Manda roared. But Kisame paid no heed. Orochimaru saw Kisame and his pupil shrank. Water release, Great Shark Bullet Jutsu. Just before Manda could bite Kisame, he formed seals, and a shark made of condensed water appeared. Kisame's figure hid within the shark and charged forward. Manda only caught the tail of the shark. Riding the Great Shark Bullet Jutsu, Kisame arrived beside Fugyuki and Yagura in an instant. Yagura-senpai, Fugyuki-senpai. When Fugyuki saw the wounds created on Manda by Kirito, his eyes lit up brightly. The blood at Manda's wounds spurted out like a fountain. Kisame, well done. Water Dragon Possession not only controls water but also any liquid, including blood. Come to me. Fugyuki tightened his grip on Water Dragon Possession, gathering the continuously flowing blood from Manda into his blood blade. The power of the blood blade diminishes if it's not the user's blood, but the quantity now surpasses anything before. Blood blade. Attack! More blood blades than before descended upon Manda like a deluge. It was extremely shocking. Even more so than when Orochimaru unleashed the Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu against Yagura, completely obscuring the sky. Hundreds, thousands, relentless and unstoppable. What is this? Such a terrifying attack. No one can stop it, can they? Even Manda can't withstand it. In this situation, Manda could only block with its tail in front to protect its head from fatal injuries, enduring intense pain in the process. The wounds caused by Kirito kept bleeding profusely, making Manda extremely uncomfortable. Pain. Loss of blood. Loss of strength. The invasion of the freezing cold. Even Manda's jaws, containing the ice block, felt numb. Manda's condition had reached an extreme low. Escape and anger intertwined in Manda's mind. Crack. Suddenly, a crisp sound of bones breaking echoed, causing Manda's eyes to widen. Only to see, in its moment of hesitation, its tail had been completely chopped off by Fugyuki's deadly blood blades, a section of it dropping down. Manda dared not hesitate any longer. Summoning Jutsu, cancel. Even though Manda harbored deep hatred towards Yagura and the others. Even though it desired to KLL and devour Yagura and the others, turning them into its food and sustenance. Even though its anger had ignited into flames, threatening to consume Manda's heart. However, Manda was afraid. In this moment of crisis, reason took control. White smoke exploded, and Manda's figure disappeared in an instant. However, on the ground, a huge tail remained. Though detached from the main body, due to being a snake-like creature, this severed tail still retained some vitality. It writhed in pain on the ground incessantly, and a massive ice block fell from above. Inside it was Jozo. Crack! A crack appeared, and Jozo emerged from the ice block. Seeing this, the hidden mist ninjas showed joy on their faces. Jozo-sama is safe. Great! Yagura and Fugyuki visibly breathed a sigh of relief. Jozo, it's good you're all right. Now, it's time for us to counterattack. Yagura looked towards Orochimaru's direction, his gaze sharpening. All mist ninjas, listen to my command. Attack! Countless voices echoed in response. Attack! 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 The multitude of voices combined, deafening. The momentum of the mist ninjas reached its peak. Orochimaru's face darkened. At this moment, even Orochimaru, unwilling as he was, could only choose to temporarily avoid the sharpness of the mist village's people. Withdraw. Chapter 113, Exploding Reputation. Soon, the news of the mist village's great victory spread throughout the entire ninja world. Great! The third Mizukage no longer maintained his usual expression, but instead showed a clear smile, even widening his eyes a bit. The presence of Soma is truly a great fortune for our hidden mist village. The entire hidden mist village was almost filled with excitement. Initially, in the conflict between Hidden Mist Village and Konoha, due to Konoha's simultaneous engagement on multiple fronts, the balance of power was essentially maintained. Back and forth it went. In essence, Konoha didn't really take Hidden Mist Village seriously. Initially, Konoha's main concerns were the Hidden Cloud Village and Hidden Rock Village. Minato held the line against the Hidden Cloud Village. Orochimaru held the line against Hidden Rock Village. But Du's sudden outbreak caught the Hidden Mist Village off guard. The proud Mist 7 suffered a major defeat, with 4 members KLLED directly. The morale of the Hidden Mist Village plummeted. The third Mizukage had no choice but to arrange for Kisame and Zabuza to fight the young ninjas from Konoha. Konoha was confident in the abilities of Kakashi and others, so they took a passive attitude towards the actions of the Hidden Mist Village. It was like a Chunin exam battle during wartime. However, those participating in the Chunin exam battle were not just Chunin level in strength. Kakashi and Kisame were already Jonin. But in the original plot of the Chunin exams, there were many participants whose strength far exceeded Chunin level. Such as Gaara, who could transform into a tailed beast. Naruto, who could summon Gamabuntat. And Kabuto, who concealed his true abilities. Konoha didn't overestimate Kakashi, but underestimated Kisame. More precisely, they didn't expect the existence of Zanpakuto. Kisame, wielding Kirito, defeated Asuma first, then defeated Kakashi. Rising to fame in the process. Among the young ninjas of the shinobi world, Kisame directly became the top figure. Kakashi of Konoha was defeated. Sasori of the Red Sand from the Hidden Sand Village, known as a genius puppetry master, but rarely appeared in action and often disappeared. The hidden rock village had only one, Kitsuki, the son of the third Tsuchikage, Onaki. However, he didn't inherit his father's Kekii Toda. He could only use earth release. Therefore, people didn't have a very high opinion of Kitsuki. Darui from the hidden cloud village did catch many people's attention. He inherited the black lightning from the third Raikage. At the same time, he also possessed the Kekii Genkai, storm release. However, Darui didn't have achievements like Kisame's. The victory of the young ninjas boosted the morale of the hidden mist village somewhat. However, even the momentum can only be boosted by the young generation of ninjas, which shows how dire and dismal the situation in the hidden mist village is. It wasn't until Jozo severely injured Pakura that the shinobi world began to truly value the hidden mist village. And this time, after temporarily easing the war with the hidden cloud village, Konoha shifted its main focus to the hidden mist village, even sending Orochimaru to the front lines. They were preparing for a major showdown, intending to severely punish the hidden mist village. In this situation, Yagura, Fugyuki, Jozo, and Kisame severely injured Manda and defeated Orochimaru. They repelled the Konoha ninja forces. In one battle, they K*LLED hundreds of Konoha ninja. In an instant, they restored the momentum the hidden mist village had previously lost. This is Orochimaru, one of the three Sunin. And this is Manda we're talking about. Yagura and the others completely overshadowed Orochimaru. Especially Fugyuki. Yagura already had a good reputation. The hidden mist village basically believed that after the third Mizukage, Yagura would be the one to succeed as Mizukage. This time, Yagura teamed up with Fugyuki and others to defeat Orochimaru, earning considerable credit. But their reputation boost was limited. Jozo, when he severely injured Pakura, had already regained the recognition as one of the top ninjas in the shinobi world. Kisame only made one move at the end. But Fugyuki was different. First, he was defeated by Dua and barely escaped. Then he lost Samehada. But this time, he suddenly erupted. Everyone could see that in defeating Manda, Fugyuki was almost the one who exerted the most effort. With extremely powerful and mysterious water release. And finally, he relentlessly hacked at Manda with his blood as a blade. That scene, that scenario, made the ninjas present unable to suppress their fear. Not many ninjas believed they could withstand attacks like Fugyuki's. It's too astonishing. The loss of face by the 7 mist swordsmen, now, Orochimaru has restored it. The younger generation of ninjas, we from the hidden mist village are at the forefront. Even Orochimaru suffered a major defeat, who else could be an opponent? After the battle, almost all of the hidden mist village ninjas felt triumphant. In contrast, the village hidden in the leaves suffered greatly from negative impacts, not only declining in momentum but also showing signs of internal strife. Many people mocked Orochimaru. Just like how many people mocked the 7 mist swordsmen in the hidden mist village before. Eminent figures like Konoha's White Fang, once they made a mistake, were condemned by others. Orochimaru was no exception. As for these discussions, Orochimaru truthfully didn't care that much. However, Orochimaru was well aware that Manda's severe injuries meant that for a long time, he wouldn't be able to control Manda or summon it for his own use, which would only bring trouble to himself. Furthermore, Minato had almost no defeats. After many years, Orochimaru personally intervened again, only to be defeated. Under such circumstances, the gap between himself and Minato Namikaze was bound to widen in terms of reputation. The position of Hokage would become even further out of his reach. Hidden Mist Village. Orochimaru looked towards the direction of the Land of Water, his expression changing constantly. An ANBU ninja entered Orochimaru's tent. Orochimaru-sama. What is it? Hokage-sama sent a letter. Sarutobi-sensei. Orochimaru's eyes flickered as he took the letter. As expected, Orochimaru had already anticipated it, but his mood still turned sour because Sarutobi Hiruzen's letter was about changing the leaders of the front lines, meaning that he had just taken office but was already being replaced. Why? Just because of such a defeat? Has Konoha really come to this? Accompanying the ANBU ninja was another person. Danzo Senpai. Whether it was Minato or Jiraiya, they both had their own responsibilities, and Hiruzen couldn't think of a suitable person to replace Orochimaru. Until Shimura Danzo volunteered himself. Hiruzen, let me go. I'm not yet at an age where I can't go to the front lines, and the intelligence war with Hidden Mist Village is especially crucial. The information about Zanpakuto and the Shinigami squad will greatly influence the course of the war. And my abilities in intelligence are stronger than anyone else's. Leave it to me. Hiruzen thought for a moment and found it reasonable. Indeed, Danzo was SK*LLED in intelligence warfare. Moreover, since Danzo volunteered himself, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't consider whether it would be too much for Danzo. Orochimaru, there's been a lot of talk in the village about your failure. It's not a big deal, but you know. Now is the time when the position of Hokage might change. Those people aren't here because of Orochimaru's failure this time, but because of Orochimaru himself. So I chose to take over as the leader of this front line. For us, this is the least impactful way. Orochimaru nodded. Danzo asked again, by the way, Orochimaru, can you tell me in detail about the members of the Shinigami squad? Some information has come back to the village, but what you know must be more accurate. No problem. Orochimaru said, Biwajozo's Zanpakuto ability is similar to Ice Release. The village already has clear intelligence on Hoshigaki Kisame. He has fought Kakashi many times. Fugyuki Sukazan's Zanpakuto ability is quite strange. It can replicate the water release techniques that he himself performs. It can revive water release techniques he has used before. It can also manipulate water flow for attacks independently, without needing hand seals. In terms of water release, Fugyuki Sukazan is considered top tier even among Kirigakure ninja. No, currently among Kirigakure ninja, no one surpasses him in water release manipulation. Even the ninja of the Hojiki clan are not his match. If he controls blood, he can transform it into the shape of a blade and it's extremely sharp. Compared to the water flow he controls, its destructiveness is on another level. Danzo digested the information Orochimaru had provided. In your opinion, Orochimaru, what is their level of strength? Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan can both be considered among the elite jonin. What about Yagura? Orochimaru pondered for a moment. If we consider individual strength, Yagura's power would slightly surpass theirs. His water mirror jutsu is difficult to deal with, it even managed to restrain me. However, Mist Village ninjas cannot be assessed based solely on individual strength. Their abilities combined can unleash a level of power exceeding what they should individually possess. Biwajozo can utilize others' water release to use ice release. Hoshigaki Kisame inflicts wounds that continue to bleed, this blood can then be used by Fugyuki Sukazan. Danzo frowned. Is it precisely because of their coordinated abilities that they were able to defeat Manda? Exactly. With a heavy heart, Orochimaru left. Danzo assumed the position of frontline leader. Compared to Orochimaru's style, Danzo's style is noticeably different. More cunning, more ruthless, and placing greater emphasis on intelligence. Danzo never relies solely on his own strength to determine the probability of winning. However, this is also because Danzo's own strength is not strong enough. He doesn't have Uchiha Shisui's Sharingan. He hasn't undergone Hashirama's cell transplantation. He hasn't acquired that Sharingan ability. The only thing Danzo can rely on is his wind style technique. In fact, Danzo's position is somewhat similar to Ebizo from Hidden Sand Village. Both are responsible for intelligence and take on dirty work themselves. Sarutobi-sensei. As soon as Orochimaru returned to Konoha, he went straight to the Hokage building. Orochimaru, are you okay? I'm fine. That's good. Sarutobi Hiruzen said, this time, it's not your fault. No one expected Hidden Mist Village to produce a new Zanpakuto so quickly, significantly enhancing Fugyuki Sukazan's strength. But, given the current situation, Orochimaru, you should stay in the village, take some time to rest, and adjust your mindset. Orochimaru opened his mouth, wanting to say something. However, after seeing Hiruzen's expression, he ultimately said nothing. Yes, Sarutobi-sensei. Due to this news, Hidden Cloud Village and Hidden Rock Village have slightly increased their attention to Hidden Mist Village. But because there is currently no direct war relationship, the impact is not significant. However, Hidden Sand Village, apart from Konoha, is also at war with Hidden Mist Village. Pakura had only just recovered from her injuries and eagerly went to the front lines. Without even making a move, she heard the news of Orochimaru's defeat. Suddenly, Hidden Sand Village's apprehension towards Hidden Mist Village increased by another level. The emergence of Zanpakuto has greatly boosted Hidden Mist Village. Unhealable Blade, Kiryu Kimonji. Ice Blade, Blue Rose Sword. Blood Blade, Water Dragon Possession. They are really much stronger than the 7 ninja swords. In fact, within Hidden Mist Village, there are also those who have been negatively affected by this incident. That would be the Hojiki clan. A heavy, bleak, and oppressive atmosphere surrounds the headquarters of the Hojiki clan. Orochimaru's defeat is naturally a good thing for the Hojiki clan. However, Fukiki's outstanding performance is like a slap in the face for the Hojiki clan. On one hand, the Hojiki clan forcibly took Samehada back from Fukiki Sukazan, claiming externally that it was not the fault of Samehada but rather Fukiki Sukazan's incompetence. But then Fukiki Sukazan proved himself in the battle against Orochimaru. During the process of severely injuring Manda, he provided the majority of the damage. Besides the deadly blood blades, Fukiki Sukazan's water release ability has also become remarkably strange. His ability to manipulate water surpasses even that of the Hojiki clan. This is no longer just a slap in the face. It's more like pressing the Hojiki clan's face down and rubbing it on the ground. Now, when members of the Hojiki clan go outside, they can't help but feel the strange looks from others. Some people outside are saying harsh things, saying that our Hojiki clan lacks foresight. Too stupid. Our Hojiki clan has become almost a joke in the entire Hidden Mist Village, no, in the entire ninja world. Selfishly occupying the 7 ninja swords, yet unable to make use of them. Treasuring the 7 ninja swords as treasures, but the 7 ninja swords are far inferior to Zanpakuto. A member of the Hojiki clan said indignantly, I think that Blacksmith did it on purpose. They specially made a ninjato for Fukiki Sukazan, one that can enhance water release abilities. He just wants to see our Hojiki clan embarrassed. Wants to see us become a laughingstock. This is his retaliation against us. Revenge for us rejecting his ninjato. He's too narrow-minded. How can someone from the same village be so petty? Does he really intend to make enemies with our Hojiki clan? Now that he hears those discussions outside, he must be feeling quite pleased. But in fact, Soma has no interest in listening to the discussions outside. Because Soma has much more important things to deal with. Orochimaru's defeat has given me so much reputation. He's practically my lucky star. Soma smiled as he looked at the reputation column numbers on the semi-transparent panel. Chapter 114, Green Blueprint, Lighting Blade. The number above has already reached over 1,800. Soma watched as the number above increased. In a very short time, it has been elevated to this level. It's almost as impressive as Kagaya Niko's extermination of the Kagaya clan last time. This is Orochimaru. No wonder he's one of the 3 Sunin. Water Dragon Possession. After this time, its reputation has spread throughout the ninja world. Over 1,800, not far from 2,000. This time I can wait a little longer. After reaching 2,000, I will do a 20 pull. Entering the training ground, Soma continued his water release training. Now, apart from complex water release ninjutsu like Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu, Soma has simplified the rest of the water release ninjutsu original seals to the utmost degree. That is, 1 seal. Simplifying the seals actually has a very strong effect in actual combat. A shorter seal time means faster execution speed. Moreover, the opponent usually estimates based on the normal seal time. The first encounter can catch the opponent off guard. In addition, I can also add deceptions like first using a jutsu with the complete the seals, and when the opportunity arises, simplify the seals. I can also use incorrect seals. For example, the previous seals are actually ineffective, and only the last seal is real. Make the opponent make the wrong judgment. It can be said that simplifying the seals can bring a considerable amount of operational space. Next, there is another direction, which is to improve the power of the ninjutsu. The power of a ninjutsu is not fixed. Different ninjas may use it differently. Just like the difference between Senju Hashirama and Yamato in wood release. In addition to Senju Hashirama having much more massive chakra than Yamato, Senju Hashirama's talent in wood release is also a very important factor. When Soma obtained the ultimate level of water release talent, he could feel it. Using water release felt different from before. It was like breaking through some kind of limit. Water release, water whip. A whip appeared in Soma's hand. The water whip used by normal ANBU ninjas had a length limit, typically about 3 to 4 meters. To extend it further, more chakra was required. Additionally, precise control was highly demanded. If the control was not precise, the ninjutsu would disperse. However, Soma found that as long as he kept inputting chakra, the water whip in his hand, even when extended to over 10 meters, didn't feel like it would disperse. It's like when Naruto learned Raise Nan and turned it into Big Ball Raise Nan. More chakra, stronger chakra control requirement to achieve a stronger ninjutsu. Soma looked at the water whip in his hand. For Mist A and BU ninjas, water whip is a restraining type of ninjutsu, but for me, it can be used as an attacking method, and the effect should be quite good. Then, Soma had a thought. The water whip dissolved and Soma formed seals again. This time it was for the water prison jutsu. The water prison jutsu's limit lies not in size but in its restraining ability. A huge water sphere stood in front of Soma. The water inside flowed at an extremely fast speed. The shell part originally had a sense of toughness. It was very difficult to break from the inside. Breaking from the outside wasn't easy either. However, now Soma unexpectedly felt a hint of hardness from his own water prison jutsu, causing him to raise an eyebrow slightly. Afterward, he threw the water prison jutsu forward. Bang! There was immediately a depression on the ground. This water prison jutsu can be used to smash into the enemy. The effect is completely satisfactory. Soma kept experimenting. Soon, he had explored all the water release ninjutsu he already knew. To some extent, these water release ninjutsu had their limits broken by Soma's ultimate level water release talent. The length of water whip. The hardness of water prison jutsu. The number of water clone jutsu. The scale of hiding in mist jutsu. The condensation of water fang bullet and water fang blade jutsu. The maneuverability of water dragon bullet jutsu. As for great waterfall and other ninjutsu, they also broke through the limits in terms of scale. However, due to Soma's basic attributes and chakra quantity, obvious effects couldn't be seen yet. Fortunately, the lottery can obtain random attribute points. Not many points are obtained in one lottery. But with more attempts, accumulated over time, it will be a considerable improvement. As long as I have enough reputation, then in the future, raising my basic attributes to the level of Senju Hashirama or Uchiha Madara is not impossible. I might even elevate them to the level of an Otsutsuki. After waiting for a few days, Soma's reputation points finally exceeded 2,000. Orochimaru's defeat continued to have a lasting impact. And promoting Orochimaru would inevitably involve Yagura, Juzo, Fugyuki, and Kisame. Elevating Kisame and the other three would inevitably involve Soma. Even though not many people in the entire ninja world know Soma's name yet. Even within the Hidden Mist village, only a few people know Soma's name. Most people only know that a great blacksmith has appeared in the Hidden Mist village. Asterisk. Soma didn't hesitate. 20 consecutive draws. Begin. Physique +1. Spirit +1. Physique +1. Thug recruitment token X1. Physique +1. Snakebone sword X1. Green. Soma's eyes lit up. As expected, another green blueprint has appeared. It's almost impossible to get a green blueprint in a 10 draw, only in a 20 draw there's a chance. With a thought, the snakebone sword's blueprint appeared in Soma's hand. A stream of information flooded Soma's mind. From the world of Inuyasha, it's one of the weapons of the Shishinintai, the snakebone, Jakotsudo. The snakebone sword is composed of multiple blades. Called a sword, but it has the characteristics of a whip and can attack from any angle. Soma was not satisfied with the snakebone sword. Apart from its toughness and multi-angle attacks, it doesn't have any other abilities. Compared to the longsword, sewing needle among the 7 swordsmen, it is at a similar level. Therefore, Soma used the ability of the green blueprint. Refresh. In the next moment, the contents of the blueprint changed. A surge of new information entered Soma's mind. Human head cane. The tool Sesshomaru used to search for graves. A cane with 2 faces on it, one of an old man and one of a woman. After inserting it into the ground, if there is a grave below, the old man's face will smile. If there is not, the woman's face will smile. As for the attack method, the old man's face opens its mouth and can spew out intense flames. With one strike, it can burn hundreds of people to death. Its last known owner is Jaken. Compared to the snakebone sword, Soma was quite satisfied with the human head cane. Refresh again. The content on the blueprint changed once more. Lighting blade. A weapon used by a demon named Hiten from the Inuyasha world. It was in the shape of a spear and it carries the power of lightning attribute. But the spear handle is relatively fragile. Soma's eyebrows twitched slightly. However, This relative fragility is probably in comparison to Tessagah, iron-crushing Fang, right? Compared to the ninja tools in this world, it should be quite good. The green blueprint can be refreshed twice, and one of the 3 results can be chosen. But now Soma is somewhat conflicted. It's different from the last green blueprint situation. Last time, the Skeleton Emperor was much better than the other 2. But this time, Soma hesitated between the lighting blade and the human head cane. Soma let go, and the blueprint disappeared. Both of these ninja tools actually have value. One can use lightning attacks. One can use fire attacks, and besides that, it also has the ability to find graves. In this world, many places have buried powerful ninjas. If there is still a bit of DNA left, they can be reincarnated through the impure world reincarnation jutsu. Soma started thinking about potential candidates for the contract. Human head cane, fire attribute, wielder Jaken, was originally a clan head of a yokai family, but chose to abandon the family and follow Sesshomaru after witnessing his strength. Lighting blade, lightning attribute, wielder Hiten, has an ugly younger brother. Cruel to outsiders, but cares deeply for his brother and their blood connection. Which of these 2 will fit someone from the Hidden Mist village? Simply from the attributes, human head cane can be ruled out directly. And those SK*LLED in lightning attributes will have more possibilities. Ame Arai Ringo, Kurosuke Rega, and the deceased Kagaya Hikari. I'll choose the lighting blade. Finding someone suitable for the human head cane will probably be difficult. At least there's still a chance for the lighting blade, and the reputation I gain from it is far more useful than the potential of human head. Soma made a decision. Immediately, the content on the blueprint was finalized. Soma saw 3 blank hexagrams appearing on the blueprint. 3 enforcers? This mission seems complicated. Soma frowned. Currently, there's only Ao Senpai on Forging Island. Juzo Senpai and Kisame are both on the battlefield. Bringing them back now might not be appropriate. Perhaps I need to develop some new enforcers. In Soma's mind, a figure emerged. That of the 3rd Mizukage. In terms of strength, the 3rd Mizukage was completely suitable as an enforcer. Being a former village leader, even if his strength was weaker, he was still a Kage. And now he had also obtained the Skeleton Emperor. That decaying and aging ability, even if not used very well by the 3rd Mizukage, would cause great damage to the enemy if hit at close range. However, there is a problem, which is the issue of genjutsu within the 3rd Mizukage. Previously, Soma couldn't be sure. But after the Rin incident erupted, news from the 3rd Mizukage confirmed that it was his own designated plan. Soma knew then that the 3rd Mizukage was indeed under genjutsu. However, after Uchiha Madara's plan succeeded, he probably lost interest in the Hidden Mist village. Until Uchiha Obito went to seek revenge on the Hidden Mist village, the 3rd Mizukage should be normal. A guess emerged in Soma's mind. It's very likely that the death of the 3rd Mizukage is related to Uchiha Obito. In terms of age, the 3rd Mizukage is not much younger than the 3rd Hokage, 3rd Tsuchikage, or 3rd Kazekage. The 3rd Hokage lived in Konoha for more than 60 years. Oniki lived until Boruto's era. The 3rd Kazekage was K*LLED by Sasori of the Red Sand, making him the earliest to die. As for the 3rd Mizukage, under normal circumstances, he wouldn't die so early. A Kage has access to extremely abundant medical resources. Moreover, ninjas with water attributes have certain advantages in terms of lifespan. There's a high possibility that he was K*LLED under Obito's revenge. Sasori of the Red Sand harbored extreme hatred towards the 3rd Kazekage due to the death of his parents. Obito's hatred towards the 3rd Mizukage exceeds even that. Furthermore, Madara would definitely not want Obito to know the truth about Rin, so he wouldn't give Obito the chance to control the 3rd Mizukage with genjutsu. If not, Madara's plan would fall apart. In other words, Obito can't control the 3rd Mizukage. The 3rd Mizukage won't fall into genjutsu again. When Obito first came to the Hidden Mist village, he must have attempted to control the 3rd Mizukage. When he found he couldn't control him, he K*LLED the 3rd Mizukage. That's how Yagura came to power. And later, Obito's control over Yagura. Soma's eyes flickered for a moment. In this case, making the 3rd Mizukage a pawn isn't impossible. Madara should be dead by now, or even if he's not, he can't come to the Hidden Mist village. Obito can't control the 3rd Mizukage. And the 3rd Mizukage himself is trustworthy. There won't be any issue of information leakage. But I still need another pawn. Soma pondered for a moment. Let's first go to the Mizuki's building. Soma stepped out of the house. Ao senpai, let's go to the Mizuki's building. Okay. Besides Ao, there was another person, Kaguya Izumi. A female ninja, a few years older than Soma, with the strength of a special jonin, proficient in taijutsu and water release, without awakening any Kekkei Genkai, exuding a somewhat melancholic aura. It was like being betrayed by someone deeply loved. Before long, the three arrived at the Mizuki's building. Chief Uehara, Mizuki-sama is currently busy, so you'll have to wait on the first floor for a while. Waiting again. The first time they came, Soma waited at the door. Now, Soma could enter and wait on the first floor. This is the change brought about by Soma's rise in status. Okay. Chapter 115, Mission, Subjugate Manton. Mizuki-sama. Soma entered. Arafune and Kaguya Izumi were stationed not far from the door. Soma, what's the matter? Mizuki-sama, there is indeed something I need your help with. What is it? Mizuki-sama, do you have any free time recently? Free time? With the current situation in the village, as the Mizuki, I can't afford to be idle. But if it's important, I can make some time. Soma then explained the situation regarding Kisame and others to the third Mizuki. Is it really so? The third Mizuki hesitated for a moment. I've seen the effectiveness of the ninjato you've crafted, Soma. It can be said that you, as an individual, have upheld half of the current era of the Hidden Mist Village. Without the ninjato, the situation in our Hidden Mist Village would undoubtedly be much worse. So the matter of the ninjato can be given top priority. Soma, how many people do we need this time? Soma replied. 4 in total. My idea is this, me, Ao senpai, you, Mizuki-sama, and one more, I haven't decided yet. If there's really no suitable candidate, Data can also join. As one of the squad captains of the forging department's security team, Data's strength is pretty good. Let's go with Data. The third Mizuki said, Data is trustworthy and his strength is decent. Then let's go with what you say, Mizuki-sama. When would you have time? The third Mizuki glanced at the documents on the table. How about tonight? Mizuki-sama, the enemy may be very strong. This time, the client requested 4 ninjas, more than any previous time. Mizuki-sama, after a day of work, will you be in good condition tonight? Then let's meet tomorrow morning. The third Mizuki said, I'll be working a bit late tonight to handle some of tomorrow's tasks. Rest well tonight, and there shouldn't be any problems tomorrow morning. Soma nodded. I'll wait for you on Forging Island tomorrow morning. Agreed. After confirming that the third Mizuki could participate, Soma returned to Forging Island. He immediately found Data. Chief Sama. Data, as a squad captain, I have a task for you. Soma's introduction to Data was briefer than the one to the third Mizuki. Data, how about it? Chief Sama, I have no problem. That's good. As soon as he finished speaking, Soma took out the thug recruitment token. The night passed quietly. The next day. Morning. The third Mizuki came early, bringing the Skeleton Emperor. During this time, besides his work, the third Mizuki had actually conducted some research and usage of the Skeleton Emperor. Compared to when he first obtained it, he was now able to utilize the Skeleton Emperor's abilities much more effectively. In addition to achievements, the third Mizuki aimed to surpass the second Mizuki in power. To achieve this, the Skeleton Emperor was crucial. The third Mizuki was aware of his own talents. Relying solely on ninjutsu had reached its limit. But, with the addition of Zanpakuto, it was different. Just Juzo alone might not prove much. But with the addition of Fukyuki, everyone could see the changes in the two. Previously, the 2 ordinary members of the Hidden Mist 7 ninja swords had once been a disgrace to elite jonin. But now? In the eyes of the ninja world, they were already second only to the cage. Without Zanpakuto, I am stronger than Juzo and Fukyuki. And the Skeleton Emperor may be even stronger than the Blue Rose Sword and Water Dragon possession. The time it took to forge the Skeleton Emperor was much longer than other Zanpakuto. Some also deliberately learned fire release to enhance the forging technique. If I fully master the Skeleton Emperor, my improvement will surpass Juzo and Fukyuki by far. When the third Mizuki arrived at Forging Island, Soma, Ao, and Data were already waiting. Mizuki-sama. The 4 of them entered an empty forging room. Mizuki-sama, Data. Soma said, since this is your first time, I'll give you a brief overview of the situation. This is essentially the same as a ninja mission. Complete the mission, and you'll receive a reward. Usually, the client will appear after entering. The third Mizukage and Data exchanged a glance. Understood. Immediately, Soma took out the blueprint. Muttering silently. Enter dungeon instance. The next moment, Soma's figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he had already entered the dungeon instance. Before his eyes was a forest and he was on the edge. Summon thugs. The current dungeon instance has reached the maximum number of thugs that can be summoned. Once summoned, they cannot be replaced. Are you sure you want to summon these 3 thugs? Yes. A force pulled simultaneously on the third Mizukage, Ao, and Data. The 3 did not resist. Soon, they all entered the dungeon instance and came to Soma's side. The third Mizukage and Data looked around curiously. This is the Forging Master spiritual land. Similar to the Summon Beast Sanctuary. Dungeon Instance Mission, Subjugate Manton. Mission Reward, Materials for the Lighting Blade Fang. Do you accept the mission? Soma was slightly stunned. This situation was somewhat different from before. Previously, the client would appear and then introduce the mission. But this time, the mission appeared directly. And it was a subjugation type mission. This type of mission had never appeared before. However, given the change in circumstances, Soma couldn't refuse the mission. Accept. Hojiki Island. Conference Hall. The elders of the Hojiki clan gathered. A middle-aged man exclaimed anxiously, "Clan head, we must think of a solution. If we continue like this, our Hojiki clan will become a laughingstock before we even rise." A young man beside him echoed, "Yes, clan head. Mangetsu indeed has great talent. With Hirameka ready in enough time, he could grow into a very powerful ninja. Surpassing Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan is not impossible. After all, Mangetsu possesses the potential of a Kage. But Mangetsu is still too young. It will take a long time for him to grow. It's not something that can be achieved in just 1 or 2 years." Hojiki Kazuhiko furrowed his brow. The current situation of the Hojiki clan also troubled Hojiki Kazuhiko. Taking advantage of the Kagaya clan's troubles and the opportunity presented by the appearance of Zanpakuto, Hojiki formulated the plan to seize the 7 ninja swords. Due to suspicion that the third Mizukage might have insight into the Hojiki clan's plans, they had to take action prematurely. Hojiki Kazuhiko originally thought the plan to seize the 7 ninja swords would encounter problems. However, unexpectedly, the plan went smoothly without any interference from the third Mizukage. However, after the successful completion of the plan to seize the 7 ninja swords, the Hojiki clan did not develop in the direction they had anticipated. The main reason for this was time. The Hojiki clan lacked sufficient time to find suitable ninjas for the 7 ninja swords and to allow these ninjas to showcase the sword's power. Hojiki Kazuhiko set the standards quite high, not wanting the 7 ninja swords to be wielded by unsuitable ninjas. If they relaxed the criteria, and the outcome was worse than the previous hidden mist 7 ninja swords, then the Hojiki clan would become a laughingstock. But the appearance of the new Zanpakuto was too quick. Moreover, it just so happened that Fugyuki Sukazan became the wielder of the new Zanpakuto. This made the Hojiki clan a laughingstock. "What are your thoughts?" Hojiki Kazuhiko asked. The young man and the middle-aged man exchanged glances. "Clan head, we believe that it might be appropriate to slightly lower the standards for selecting the wielders of the ninjato set by you, at least to allow someone other than Mangetsu to wield one ninjato. This way, they can go to the battlefield, achieve success, and demonstrate the power of the 7 ninja swords, and there will be much less criticism of the Hojiki clan within the village." Upon hearing this suggestion, Hojiki Kazuhiko's expression softened somewhat. "The strategy we have set is actually correct," Hojiki Kazuhiko said. "By setting high standards and demanding rigorous training from our people, not only can we select the most suitable wielders for the ninjato, but we can also enhance the strength of our people. The selected Hojiki 7 are bound to be stronger than the previous Mist 7. It may take a little longer, but it's worth it. However, the emergence of Water Dragon possession has indeed had a significant impact on our Hojiki clan. We still need to keep our focus long-term. But, we also need to consider the short-term impact. I will seriously consider the suggestion you made." Hojiki Kazuhiko didn't immediately agree. Lowering the standards of the wielder of a sword was acceptable to Hojiki Kazuhiko. But he needed to carefully consider which sword it would be. It had to showcase the power of the ninjato without compromising the Hojiki clan's own plans. Hojiki Kazuhiko glanced in the direction of Forging Island in the distance. This blacksmith's actions are deliberate. And he's not just targeting our Hojiki clan. Furthermore, he wants his Zanpakuto to surpass the fame of the Hojiki 7 ninja swords. To elevate his reputation beyond that of the great blacksmith of yesteryears. Such audacity! Toward seniors, there's not an ounce of respect. Without the great blacksmith of the past, how could the current Forging Island even have a legacy? He relies on the techniques left behind by that great blacksmith. Ingratitude. Such a person will definitely meet a bad end. What Hojiki Kazuhiko didn't know was that most of Soma's forging techniques had little to do with that great blacksmith. He relied on the Blacksmith System, God's Hand, and his own research. The chakra smelting technique and the breathing forging method on Forging Island were just names passed down. Soma developed the chakra smelting technique by relying on his mastery level forging technique and mastering the fire release. As for the breathing forging method, it's based on the breathing techniques of the Demon Slayer's blade. The appearance of Soma's Zanpakuto had absolutely no contribution from that great blacksmith. You can discuss which ninjato to choose if you decide to pick one, said Hojiki Kazuhiko, prompting everyone to start discussing. Same hata has its own personality. Without finding the right person, forcing its use is inferior to an ordinary ninjato. Blunt sword is just resilient. It's basically impossible to achieve astonishing effects with it. Long sword has a high level of difficulty in operation, and currently, no one can use it well. The usage difficulty of blast sword isn't that high, and its effects can be quite impressive. However, there's a problem with blast sword, it's easy for people to think that it's all thanks to explosive tags. Sever sword was previously used by Jozo, but he voluntarily gave it up after obtaining the blue rose sword. A bloodsucker with self-healing abilities isn't prominent enough, he continued. Unless we can develop better ways to use it. Thunder swords, when used, create a spectacular scene. With sufficient chakra, they can unleash extremely powerful lightning release techniques on a large scale, which can also be coordinated with water release. At this point, some members of the Hojiki clan had already realized that, compared to Zanpakuto, the 7 ninja swords didn't seem strong enough. Kirikomanji can create wounds that are unhealable, causing continuous bleeding in the opponent. Sever sword can only collect the spilled blood. Blue Rose Sword grants Biwajozo Ice Release. Thunder Swords only grant the user Lightning Release. One is a Kekii Genkai, the other a regular elemental ninjutsu. Which is superior, is quite evident. Water Dragon Possession directly elevates Fugyuki Sukazan's water release abilities to a higher level. In the eyes of many, it has surpassed the water release ninjas of the Hojiki clan. This point particularly displeased the Hojiki clan. Hojiki Kazuhiko summarized, so overall, Blast Sword and Thunder Sword seem more suitable. Comparatively, choosing an unsuitable user for Blast Sword would have a smaller negative impact on our clan than selecting one for Thunder Swords. After all, the potential of Thunder Swords is higher than that of Blast Sword. Just then, a figure rushed in at a rapid pace. Clan head. What is it? Hojiki Kazuhiko looked over. The frontline ninja brought back the severed tail of Manda, which was cut off by Fugyuki Sukazan's blood sword. They're preparing to turn it into a monument in the central square. Many people are gathering to watch. Instantly, the expressions of the Hojiki clan elders, including Hojiki Kazuhiko's, turned grim. What does Mizukage-sama mean? To erect Manda's tail in the square and make it into a monument? Is this to permanently seal this matter? Then, won't our Hojiki clan be mentioned forever? Using this severed tail to keep people talking about our Hojiki clan. Hojiki Kazuhiko fell silent for a moment. Choose a user for Thunder Swords. It seems that Blast Sword is not enough anymore.
Thanks for listening.